That's good. That means you're in line. That means that you're in line with my time.
That's what I mean.
If you're in line with my time, that means we're on the same page.
I don't want to be in line.
You're gonna be second. Then Dan is gonna shortly be in line with my time. And then once we're all together in sync, then this thing is
sick. I don't ever want to be in sync with your time.
Why?
Never.
What's wrong with waking up at 3 a.m. or 2 and starting your day?
No.
I'm going to bed at 11 or 12.
Definitely not.
No. You're a sick human being.
You're not missing much.
In the long run, that's not going to be good for my lifestyle.
Hey man, it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be fine.
Just wait till I move in with her and she sees me like up at 3 a.m. working on a video. She'll be like, "What are you doing?"
I was gonna be like, you could give me her number and I'll text you guys both. We'll have a little group chat.
We'll add her to the interview.
Yeah,
Tyrrell, you couldn't have recorded a little earlier today.
Yeah. She starts responding, Tyrrell, you're an inconvenience to my husband's sleep pattern. He's got to do what he's got to do. That would be funny. That would be funny, guys. I love Mondays. I've been saying this all day, and I feel like you guys thought I was going to be very upset today.
Yeah, sort
of.
of.
Fabs is like, this is the vibes. Waiting for the monologue, rats. I don't know if there's going to be a monologue.
I think it's coming. You're just deflecting right now.
I just know that.
I think our doctor friend Laura would say you're just deflecting.
Well, Laura don't know shit.
She's listening to this podcast for sure.
If she comes back.
Hey, Laura, if you're listening to this, you know where my DMs are. We could talk about it, but you're not going to do nothing.
She actually asked me about where's your T-shirt.
I got it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring it every day? I'll place it right here.
That's so wild.
That was the only thing she texted me today.
Really?
She's like, I was listening to the podcast. Ask Tyrrell, where is my T-shirt?
Shout out to Laura. Laura, you're a real one. Seeing what you were doing this weekend.
She's watching Man City.
Good for you, Laura. We may need to call in and get your insight on the game.
Unlike you, she's probably sleeping right now.
Oh,
dude, maybe she knows where Benjamin is.
He's in China.
Pep wasn't very aware where he was.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's probably the only thing he wasn't aware of this weekend.
That is funny.
Safe to say they didn't need him.
No.
Regardless of the fact.
If that's what you guys think.
Imagine he did play. Might have hit double digits.
It could have been Benfica.
Don't say Anyhow.
That name is not allowed here.
Anyhow. Guys, this is great. I'm very happy to be here. I hope that you guys are ready.
Pre-snowstorm.
Another
one.
Yeah, it snows in Canada, folks.
A lot.
Thankfully, this one isn't going to delay our podcast.
For those that are watching that are not living in Canada, which is probably everyone that is watching, they're not living in Canada. It does snow here. We're anticipating a snowstorm, so we're going to rock out here for the next 3 hours. And break down everything that happened this weekend. You guys are not happy.
That's not happening.
You guys should be happy. What if it was, even if it was 4 hours, you should be happy that we were.
The problem is, I think we could fill 4 hours worth of stuff.
I know. Don't worry. That's for later. This is just like the warm you guys. This is like,
just testing the waters.
Yeah, definitely testing the waters. See if you guys could cope and deal with it. But I think you guys are doing fine. You guys look ready. Fabs looks. Sweatpants gang, soccer pants gang. So when we're wearing soccer pants, wow, my words, then it's about to be serious. Dan's always dressed better than us, so
yeah,
I don't even
nice gray crew.
I don't even bother anymore. I'm like, one day I'm gonna come in like a tux
suit. I'm wearing the suit that I wear to my wedding the next day here
to the podcast.
It might be the only day I'm better dressed, but then Dan's gonna pull something out.
I'll wear the tux that I wore to your wedding.
Yeah, there you go.
But nah, we got a lot of stuff to get into. So with that being said, soundboard on?
It is.
Cameras on? Yeah, it is. It's been on. The mic's on?
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, if it's on and you guys are ready, it's the InnerViews Podcast, episode number 57. It is 57, live and direct from Toronto, Ontario. It's your guy, Tyrrell, and I'm here with two guys that need to break down, or hopefully can break down, everything that has transpired this weekend in the world of footy/soccer. This is the best soccer/footy podcast in the world, providing with organic, unfiltered soccer/footy analysis. And if you really want to know everything that needs to be said, because there are a lot of things that need to be said this weekend and every weekend and practically every week. There are discussions that need to be had, and I feel like a lot of people aren't having it. But as the weeks go by, podcasts keep popping up, and shout out to those guys for keep fighting the good fight. My only question is, if you guys are all doing the same podcast and all kind of talking the same way, all with the same kind of vibe and the same themes, don't you think that that's just not really gonna work out?
No, because everybody's gonna blend together.
So you think like it's the survival of the fittest? Whoever's the best.
Whoever decides to do it the longest.
Whoever decides to do it the longest will reign supreme.
Well, that's just how anything works, right? If you're good enough, you're gonna last the test of time, right?
No, some people suck and just keep going. That could be us.
that very well could be us.
That very well could be
57 episodes later.
Yeah, 50. Yeah. Oh no, we're good. We're good. 57 ain't nothing. The fact that we're here and still doing what we're doing and doing it the way that we are doing it, I think is very key. And I'm very happy with what we've been doing. And we should keep doing it because I've been listening to these new soccer podcasts. I know Dan doesn't listen. I know you don't have the time to listen, but I do listen. I do give
all of them.
I do give them. No, not religiously.
No. I'm saying, but have you given all of them a chance?
A chance? For the most part, yeah. I've given them at least 10 minutes to see what the vibes are. Do I like the vibes?
I'm not going to ask you to shout out the one that you do like, but is there one that you actually listen to?
No.
Have you listened to one more
I only like
than
ours.
once?
Only like ours.
Okay, that's fair.
Only ours.
Okay, if
That deserves one single gunshot.
Only ours.
have you listened to another podcast more than once?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I like them.
No, I'm just saying, have you? There's obviously one that you just listened to once, and that was enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
You're the Bill Belichick of podcasts.
I just kind of try and
Because I feel like Bill Belichick hates everybody, but scouts everybody.
Yeah, I give everyone a taste. Pause, and I try to figure out like what you're really coming with. There's some podcasts that are just strictly bringing on the guests. That's cool. Bring on the guests. Are we ever going to bring guests? Do you guys ever want to?
Not the type of guests they're doing.
Okay.
I don't think that fits with what we're trying to accomplish.
I don't. I told you I don't listen to any other podcast but ours.
No, I've seen like the tweets, and we have this person here. Like, I don't ever want to talk to the commissioner of the MLS.
Do you want to talk to the commissioner of the MLS?
No.
Okay.
Like, I think that looks cool in a tweet.
Yeah.
But what am I going to learn from him that's really going to change my view on something?
And he ain't gonna tell me anything that I want to hear.
No.
He's gonna tell me everything that he wants me to hear.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that's just how media is driven, right?
Yeah.
If you could bring a guest, what would be your ideal guest?
Ray Hudson. he is going to tell me everything the way I want to hear it. Ray's got no filter. I believe Ray's got no filter.
You?
I actually want to bring in players at some point.
Really?
Okay, but who would you bring in?
I don't know yet. Because the reason why I don't know yet is because, one, there are a lot of players out there. Two, I want to bring in the right player. It doesn't have to be the best player. Like, I'm not going to see, like, yeah, I want Ronaldo to sit right beside me. Hell no, I don't want him to sit right beside me ever.
I'll translate.
I don't want to hear his translation. I want someone that's going to tell me what it is.
So Mario Balotelli.
That'd be nice.
That'd be wild.
But probably no.
Joey Barton.
We'll start local. I go from there. I want people that are going to tell me what it actually is. I don't want you to come here and give me whatever your PR person tells you that you have to say or whatnot. And I feel like that's why, that guest thing may not really work out.
But I feel like that's probably never going to happen.
Yeah. We're different.
Just because they're protecting themselves, and I'm not against that one bit. But I have to protect their brand.
But I think a former player may give you a little bit more than let's say, a current player.
Yeah, depending on what you want, what you're trying to extract
depending on what.
Or sorry, even someone currently employed. Like if you let's say that your example of MLS commissioner, he's not going to give you everything you want. No, he's going to keep something close.
Of course,
to the chest, right? But an ex-MLS commissioner may give you a little bit more.
Maybe, but that's what I see from a lot of these podcasts now, and I feel like good for you guys. I don't want any journalists. I don't want any journalists. I see a lot of people trying to bring in
Aren't you a journalist?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
And if I was definitely not the ones that they want to bring in.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you how it is. It's funny. A lot of these podcasts are trying to bring in the journalists from different countries to get their insight. I don't want their insight. I really don't. I see it on the tweets, and even them, it's kind of like manufactured to what they can say and what they can. And hey, kudos to them. They got a job. They have to tweet a certain way and send out messages a certain way and kind of base their analysis a certain way to kind of fit whatever demographic they're trying to hit, you know?
Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, is their viewership.
Yeah.
That's what reigns supreme. So they're one way or another, they can tell you they're being honest, but they have to garner their to their viewership, right?
And you know me, I don't give a damn about you could view or you cannot view. We went at it this weekend. Yeah. Went at it this weekend. I saw Fabs in some Twitter beef.
Really?
No, discussion.
No, it's Twitter beef. he was indirectly giving David the shots. David. Pause.
Yeah, big pause.
David was trying to save face. Like, nah, I almost stepped in.
Don't ever step in on my conversation.
I almost stepped in, but I don't want to get Fabs upset. But I almost stepped in. I watched. I was like, okay.
He was like the older brother from afar.
Yeah, I was like, shut up, David. You know what he's talking about. You know what it is.
The nonchalantness.
And I got into it with Chelsea Twitter. And
Chelsea Twitter is absolutely ridiculous.
Chelsea Twitter is terrible.
They actually answer you?
Of course.
They're looking to answer people.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the official Chelsea?
No. We call Chelsea Twitter like the fan base.
Like the fan base.
The fan accounts.
I'm like, wow.
Oh no, they don't. They got to find a way to kind of make the
they're trying to win games. Yeah. They're not trying to talk to us.
Trying to make the 6-0 loss and look not that bad.
They stink.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, Chelsea Twitter's wild. We're gonna get to them in a bit, and I feel like every Twitter is bad in terms of soccer sides, but Chelsea Twitter is different ball
game. It's toxic. Man.
It's nasty. It's nasty. Even like I don't know if you saw it this morning with the Chelsea analyst who, whenever you try to get me, oh well, I wrote this article and you should check it out because I broke down all the flaws that Sarri ball has. I'm like, listen, man, I've been watching the same amount of games that you are, and you ain't really telling me much. And that was my problem. And at the end of the day, it's like the argument gets to a point where it's not even an argument. It's just like, oh yeah, well, what else could you really say to me? Because I'm telling you what it is, and you're trying to like deflect. It's whatever.
And I'm not taking anybody serious who didn't watch him last year.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Zero. And that's the one thing that I'm learning more and more is that these journalists, these guys, they stick to their league.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rightfully so, because you're writing papers for that league. You're writing articles for that league. You're doing analysis based on that league.
Wasn't it Sky Sports this morning that was like, oh, well, this is not Serie A. This is not Napoli. This is the Premier League.
Those 4 guys haven't watched more than 180 minutes worth of
any other
other than Prem and Champions League. And the only Champions League they watch
are the English teams.
Even Jamie was like, Jamie called Chelsea Arsenal?
Arsenal?
Yeah.
Boy.
I saw that. That was yesterday, wasn't it?
You could have called them Liverpool when he was playing.
I was going to say, what did you guys know?
What did your Liverpool squad look like, buddy? Slow your roll. Remember what you were. But yeah, that was very funny. You guys do anything crazy this weekend? Anything exciting?
Actually,
I saw.
Went to the Ice Fest in Yorkville.
I saw.
The what fest?
Ice Fest.
Did you go into like one of those igloos?
No. Oh. But I actually by accident went to I went to Yorkville to grab a coffee on Saturday night.
Looking for Seba. He could have said
that was a flex, eh? I went to Yorkville to grab a coffee.
Looking for Sebs?
Yeah, well, he wasn't there. He's in the sun.
Don't you worry about Seba.
Yeah, he's just fine. Yeah. Anyways, no, so went up there and got off at Bay, and all of a sudden it was Ice Fest. So they have a whole bunch of like carvings out of ice.
Wow.
Yeah, I could have told you that. Someone told me to see it in the morning. I
didn't even know.
I was like, nah, man. We'll go and watch the Madrid derby.
Yeah.
I want to see no ice.
Okay.
I went at night, and then Sunday, my wonderful father came to visit me. We had lunch together. Yes.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
He's a real one.
Thank you.
He ain't Laura. No, I'm joking. He's a real one.
So yeah, that was my weekend. So I actually stepped out.
That's good.
Nobody watched the Grammys?
I watched like 2 performances. I'm boycotting everything on Sundays, by the way. I don't know.
Super Bowls, Grammys.
Yeah, whatever's next.
Wouldn't it be Oscars?
Definitely boycotting.
I don't watch any of those.
100% boycotting.
Should the footy world have a Grammys type, Oscars type?
They do. It's called the Ballon d'Or.
No.
Yeah.
But but
it ain't getting better than that.
There's like 3 awards.
All of them combined equal the Grammys.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. What if they did what the Grammys did and have their little subcategories? English Player of the Year, this Player of the Year,
Don't they
and then
have
one giant ceremony.
I really don't want to see that, because from what we're seeing already with these other awards, like how much better could that really be? That's why I don't want to see it personally. I think the fans would love it, and perhaps they should try to do that. Make one big night of it, and like,
you know who would love it? The female fans.
Why is that?
Oh,
because I think
the guys.
No, I think that's something that would introduce football to the female fans, because
most women like the award show thing.
Yeah. I think that if you take the demographics of the Oscars, it's majority of women that are watching those kinds of award shows.
I don't know if there's anything that's really gonna excite them about, Luka Modric winning Player of the Year.
No, but you could,
what if he's got a nice humanitarian speech?
That's right.
No, don't matter.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
You guys are really dreaming big. Sorry, it's not happening. It's not happening. You guys are crazy. There's no chance that no females that don't watch soccer are gonna get engaged in that. Nope. I'm gonna burst your bubble.
Big Mario comes on
Nope,
stage.
don't matter.
In his 4 languages that he speaks. Pogba dabs.
You find me someone who really cares about that. It's not happening. Sorry. No.
All right.
Breaking. I'm in all dreams today.
So no award show.
Kill them all. No award show. Almost went out on Saturday night. Realized that I'm super washed. As I was in the process of going out, had a big dinner. Pause. Decided to part ways with my boy. Game plan, 2 hours, shower, get ready, whatnot. We both ended up crashing.
Wow.
Waking up like 11:30. It's like, you can't really do much after that.
You played yourself.
I realized that, I don't know if you guys went through this entire process as well, is that when you try to go out with the boys and you realize that no one could really decide on where they want to go. Have you ever had one of those nights and then you just end up not going out because you guys couldn't decide where you want to go?
If I'm making a move to somebody's house, then it's predetermined that we are going somewhere.
What if you don't go to their house? What if it's just like you're all sitting at home?
Like a spontaneous...
Yeah, there's a plan to meet up, but you gotta
I'll meet you here, and then it just...
But you gotta decide where you want to go.
I don't think I've ever experienced one of those.
That's good. I'm very happy for you.
No, because like if I'm even enticing that, like we're going somewhere.
That's good. We need to go out.
No, that's the thing. If I tell you I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there. That's how I roll.
We got to go out, because with this situation, it's like no one knows where they want to go. Oh no, you decide, man. I don't really care where I go. But then when
that's
you go,
the worst.
But then when you go somewhere, they're like, this place sucks. We should have never went.
That's like when I take the hen out to go eat somewhere. Where do you want to go eat? Anywhere. It's fine. But not there.
Yeah.
And not there. And not there. Yeah.
You see, that's kind
Come on.
That's what happened. So my chance to really return didn't happen. Return.
You almost got your jersey taken down.
Yeah. It's still up in the rafters. I don't want it to come down. But it may come down this weekend since it's a long weekend.
Oh, wow.
We got a busy weekend though, so we'll see. But that almost happened, man. I was very, very proud of myself for almost making that push. Had to do something. Had to bring back a story for you guys.
Well, maybe this weekend.
No stories. I'm washed. I'm here.
This weekend is your weekend.
Is it?
Well, I'm laying low, so I'll tell you right now.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna ask why, but I know it's for good. It's for a good. It's for a good cause.
Yes, it is.
I trust you.
Yep.
We here are like family, so
we are.
I know that you are doing things for the good of your heart.
That's right.
I don't know.
Where is this conversation going?
I have no idea where it's going. We're just talking a bunch of nonsense. We got a lot of stuff to get into this week. I mean, nothing really big happened besides the fact that you said the Grammys. Linsanity's back. I don't want to talk about the
people are throwing chairs off balconies.
21 Savage still hasn't come back. He's still not free. That's a big thing. We got to keep talking about.
We got to give people the weekly update.
Yeah, that he's still not free. And winter's arriving again, and Valentine's Day is approaching.
Yes. Yeah. That's our reminder to all our male listeners. Valentine's Day is right around the corner.
Yeah.
If you do listen to us.
And you have a significant other.
Yeah, buddy.
No, you don't have to have a significant other. If there's someone that
You're courting?
catches your eye,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, someone you're courting.
if you tell her you're courting her, you're not going to get her.
What's like the lengths you've gone to while you were courting somebody?
The lengths that what?
Like to attempt to
Win the woman's heart.
Okay, sure. If you want to go that deep,
Sorry.
I'm not saying that on camera.
fine.
All right.
I can't remember.
Let me ask you this about Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Did you ever do anything on Valentine's? Did you do romantic things on Valentine's Day? Or are you not a Valentine's Day person?
Of course. I'm all about the love.
I'm romantic.
I may give someone a Valentine's gift and they may not even buy
Every day
Valentine's
of
this
the
year.
I'm romantic.
Oh, God.
365.
I hope Diana's watching this podcast.
365.
Of course. I get into my Valentine's bag. Someone's getting a rose this year.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, but someone's getting one.
Not on this couch.
Yo, you never know. But nah, man. What? You're not?
No, I always did something for Valentine's, but it was always low key.
Okay.
You know, like it was maybe we went to if we could get anything at a restaurant, we went there.
Okay.
We once did a couples massage.
Okay. That's cute.
That was yeah.
Yeah.
But like, things like
I don't
that,
want nobody touching me.
You don't do massages?
No.
That's fine.
Seriously?
No. I refuse to.
He
Really?
does. He does a massage. Pause.
No.
Fair enough.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's just mad awkward to me, but
I
digress.
no, I. All right.
You want hot oils on you?
No.
Go do,
No,
Yo,
that's
do
not-
your thing.
you just killed Dan's vibe.
But Dan was like, I'm getting one this weekend.
No,
That's why
no,
I'm
no.
laying
He doesn't
low.
do massages.
No.
Don't worry, Dad. Go get your massage.
The only
Yeah.
thing that I refuse is people touching my feet.
Oh, so no pedicures?
No.
Oh, that's cool.
No.
That's cool.
I hate that's no.
That's
I've
cool,
never
man.
had
I'm not judging any of you guys.
No.
I feel like you guys are very strong minded about these situations.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. I hope you guys do enjoy your Valentine's. Hold on, Valentine's Day is when we do the podcast.
That's
Yes.
why.
Oh.
It's
You guys
Thursday.
ain't cancel Valentine's Day this year. Sorry, females. It's not happening. InnerViews Podcast. If they want to enjoy Valentine's Day, they're coming to the podcast.
It's Champions League week. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Guys, hand out your gifts before.
I would never go out on a Thursday night anyways.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's gonna be packed.
Oh, that's what I
Oh,
mean.
no,
I've done it one year and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, you guys are
I
wild.
went out on a Tuesday once.
Ooh. Like I do it, but like not on that day. Like I go out on a Tuesday.
But you know what? It's actually sometimes sometimes it's better to go out on the Tuesday than the weekend.
Yeah, Fabs is like, Fabs was like, I'm going on a date on Monday. Fabs like, yo, you're wild.
Listen, between Monday and Thursday, if it's not for this podcast, I do not leave my house.
That's good.
To work,
Those
to
are-
home, and that's it.
Those are
Hey.
my low key nights. That's when I
Damn.
get in my bag. Weekends, I stay home
Yeah.
because then there's too many people out and too many young folks out. I don't want to be around them.
I just don't do shit.
They're wild. That's cool.
Yeah, they are.
They're too wild. Anyhow, to people that haven't not listened to this podcast before, I care about what these guys have to say and what they've been doing this weekend or since the last time that I've seen them, which has been a week. So we talk about that. We're going to get into the soccer and the /footy stuff right now. Anything else that you guys really want to say?
No, I think
You
we
guys are
covered the
good?
basis.
It's one of those weeks, eh? Don't worry. We're going to have
I'm
stories.
going to see you in 2 days.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. Imagine what you guys should tell me then. Oh, I did nothing. Just watch the Champions League. You know,
I'm purposely going to do something in the next 2 days.
that's good. So am I. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good.
I'll give you a story. I always say that, and then I never come through.
Never
but-
follow through.
Yeah, it's always one of those times where I don't think I'm going to have one, then something happens. Anyhow, with that being said, since you guys have nothing else to really say, we got to give a shout out to the YouTube subscribers. You guys have done very well this week. Shout out to the Facebook likers and followers. Shout out to all the new podcast listeners, all the new subscribers and followers and likers as well. Shout out to those on Twitter that try to get at me and try to get at Fabs this weekend. You guys keep doing what you're doing. We don't really care. What we do, we like the engagement. We want to hear what you guys say. But at the end of the day, you know, at least for myself, like I'm 99.9% right, like half of the times, like all the time. So just let that be known that you're never going to be right in that conversation. Fabs is a bit more easygoing, so he'll give you a pass if you say something logical, but I won't. So
Well, I'm open to other people's views,
so am I.
but I feel like I watch enough to
To
pretty
know.
be concrete on my own
Yeah,
decisions.
to
you
know, right? And yeah, we'll get to that in a bit.
You're not talking to some people who just watch a game,
Yeah,
you know?
it's just one game a weekend.
No.
Or one game every 2 weeks. Yeah, I talk to a lot of those people. They're funny. Shout out to those on Instagram. Keep doing you. Shout out to everyone that was in the Instagram live today. Shout out to everyone on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anyone that uses their Apple devices, whatever you do on your Android devices, shout out to you. Shout out to all the new Toronto soccer podcast. Shout out to all the soccer podcasts. This is the best soccer/footy podcast in the world. Organic, unfiltered soccer analysis. We have to let that known. None of these guys have listened to any new Toronto podcast or Toronto soccer podcast. So that means that we're still the best. Because until, like I said, until someone comes to me and tells me that their podcast is better than ours,
We're still the best.
yeah. And even when they tell me that theirs is better, there's a good chance that they're lying, especially if they're talking about this damn sport. I'll tell you that. Shout out to those working hard outside in the weather tonight and tomorrow. You guys definitely need it. Shout out to those.
Bundle up.
Shout out to the employed, unemployed. Shout out to all the school kids. Keep doing what you do in school. Keep learning. I think that's very important. Who else are we shouting out this week? Shout out to single moms, independent women. Shout out to independent men. Shout out to everyone that's on their grind, doing what they're doing. Everyone that's trusting the process. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone at the Air Canada Center tonight. We don't really like you, but shout out to you. Hopefully the Raptors win. Shout out to all the Toronto sports teams. Shout out to everyone that's doing good. And shout out to all the good guys. I have to say that. Shout out to all the good guys. I've been hearing too many stories about good guys getting killed out in these, not like killed, but like, actually like, going through it. And I feel like this is a tough time to really go through it. So we got to give a shout out to them because I feel like they shouldn't be going through it because they're good guys. And you guys really don't care. So I'm going to leave it there.
I was going to say shout out to the good women, but...
Oh, yeah. Shout out to you, too.
Wow.
Shout out to the good people.
Shout out to... This is specifically for the dudes. The women can... Like, we got 2 podcasts this week. Why can't I shout out the good women on Thursday?
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. It'll be Valentine's Day.
Exactly. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I know Laura was going to try and hit me with it. What about the women?
Yeah.
She's definitely thinking about that.
Yep. Shout out to the women that are arriving on time to their dates on Thursday.
Shout out to the males that aren't, because I definitely know. I know I wouldn't. So
poor girls waiting there.
Yeah, you got to be like 5 or 10 minutes. You got to be 5 or 10 minutes late. No. You're a busy person.
That used to drive me crazy.
Really?
Yeah, that's
10 minutes early. And
that's
you're
my
on
pet
time.
peeve. Just show up on time.
Really?
Be on time.
Really?
Dan hates us.
Oh man. Well, let it be known, Dan, that any female that I've seen, gotta keep them on their toes.
No, Jesus.
Sorry, those females that felt the way that Dan feels, but it happens.
Time management skills don't seem to be
my forte.
No.
I wasn't gonna say yours, but
in that situation, no. Anyhow, with that being said, no one else has anything to say. We got a lot of stuff to break down from this weekend. So, you know what time it is, Fabs. It's the InnerViews Podcast, episode number 57. A lot of shit has happened this weekend. I'm in the mood. I love Mondays. Let's get into it. We really, really have some shit to talk about this weekend. And I'm not going to ask you guys where you want to go because last week Dan sent us to like the epitome of no return. Like, I don't want to go to Germany ever first.
It's funny how this would probably be a decent week to go there because something did happen.
Nope. Sorry, Jimmy, and anyone else who Bundesliga's fans.
Scrub through.
Sorry, scroll through. We leave the time slots on YouTube, so you could just click it and the timestamps, and you could get your Bundesliga action there. But no, we're not starting with them. We'll start there when Bayern are somehow out of the title race, or Dortmund collapse, like really collapse, or when they play each other. I don't care about you guys this week. I do, but not as much as everything else that happened this week. And I could be that guy and go to Spain, but you guys are the Prem boys.
Thanks.
You guys are the Prem boys.
We have a moniker now.
Double screen for the Premier League games. The Madrid derby's going on. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's only the Madrid derby.
That was totally that.
It's only the Madrid derby. Let me watch Arsenal, Huddersfield, and Liverpool against Bournemouth. What? Excuse me?
That's so wrong.
How dare you?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Those are the last teams I want to watch. Especially Bournemouth and Huddersfield. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. Anyhow, I'm taking Control. Initiative this week.
Good.
And we know where we're going. And we have to go there first. And I feel like it was a real statement that was set from both sides. But more so the team that won. You guys were kind of saying there, not you guys, but a lot of people were saying there wasn't going to be a title race. Title race may have been over. 7 points may have been too much given what Liverpool were doing. 10 was definitely when people were like, oh yeah, if they get to 10, then yeah, we got a big problem. What I saw on Sunday looked like a team that, yeah, if I'm Liverpool and I'm watching that, yeah, pressure's on. Pressure's
100%.
on. You want to talk about a team that's ready? That team looks ready. You want to talk about a team that I haven't counted out and that I still believe are favorites to win this thing? It's that team. Because they are not playing any games.
Oh, I haven't wavered in that at all. I still think City are the team to beat, regardless of where they stand right now. Because I think a City team on their game can go undefeated from here on out. A Liverpool team playing at the peak of their performance, I don't think can go unbeaten from here on out.
So here's what and I don't want to talk about Liverpool just yet, but here's what I noticed the last couple weeks that sets those two teams apart, and it's the ruthlessness of both teams. Liverpool had Bournemouth beaten 2-0, 3-0, but they never stepped on the throat of that team. Whereas City had Chelsea beaten the opening 15 minutes, maybe even earlier. But you know what? They never let out. If they could have scored 10, they would have scored 10. And I think that's the mentality of a true champion. And I think that's what I like about Pep, is he brings that sort of mentality that the team is beaten, but we're not done. To put a statement. And they put a statement down this weekend. I know that Chelsea team has a lot of problems, and we'll talk about Chelsea. But for me, that's a statement.
Well, for them, it's they kind of have to do that because last season, when they had the title wrapped up pretty much earlier on, they kind of put the foot off the gas. And I think that is something, that's why when you guys were mentioning, the 3 games against Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea, it's like, that's the best thing that could ever happen to them. Because that kind of puts you in a groove where it's like, okay, we kind of really got to be here and we kind of really got to perform every week. And that's how they have to enter every game from now until the end of the season. Because one, they're obviously in the race, but that ensures that there's no drop off. Yeah, it may mean that they're exhausted come the end of the season, but they played in these last 3 games, that's how they have to play in the Champions League. And last season, there was a drop off in terms of how they played in the league. And that also coincided with how they played in the Champions League, which is why I think this does benefit them. On that point about Liverpool, I think that they could kill teams. I just think that the way that they're playing now, I don't think it allows them to really do that. And Bournemouth was the perfect team for them to face, in my opinion, because of how inconsistent they are and how they really don't know. I feel like they don't really have an identity, Bournemouth, but we'll get to that later. And yeah, it just kind of worked out. I don't think they've won an away game in like months from what I have seen. So that goes to show. But City, yeah, man. I don't know what we could really take from that. Job done. Job done.
Now, when they choose to be, they're still the best team in this league.
Yep. Job done. They went through a blip. Every team goes through a blip. We've said that.
Yep.
And I think they went through a blip against when they faced Leicester and Newcastle, and even some of those games. Like, those are just things that happen. They should have killed off. Even the game when they played against Newcastle, they didn't play well. They should have won that game. They still created enough chances to win that game. And I mean, it's good when you can look at your bench and you have David Silva, Gabriel Jesus, Mahrez,
and you just got the best player from last year back.
Yep. And that's a great thing for them. Now it's just about building off that and ensuring that they could sustain those levels, right? Because they got a lot of games. They got the Champions League games, which I think that they kind of do have the advantage because they're playing Schalke. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they are playing Schalke.
They'll probably want to win that in the first leg.
Yeah, and they probably...
If they can.
Oh, they can.
They're capable of it.
Yeah.
Oh, they will.
But we've seen their Champions League performances this year.
Oh, they will.
So...
They will.
If the first leg is away?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does.
No.
It would be away because they finished first. Because Schalke were in Porto's group and Porto finished first.
No, it don't matter.
Okay.
That team is not good.
No, they're not.
No, I'm just saying. But if you score 4 away goals
on a European night, anything could happen.
Right.
I don't care if it's Schalke. I don't care if it's Roma. I don't care who it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of being a close game, do I think Schalke are gonna get a result? No, I don't.
No. No.
But at 2-0, I don't think the first leg is over.
Right. But at
they
3 or 4 and
If
all
you
of
if you
those
put
are
4
away
past
goals.
somebody, sure. Then you can tote out Mahrez and Jesus and everybody for the second leg.
Oh no, if they get 2 away goals, I think it's done.
I don't think in Pep's head it is.
Yeah, in his head.
Which his head is what dictates the starting 11.
Yeah, I don't care about his head.
You know what?
Pause.
It's funny because I watched that game twice.
What, the City game?
Yeah. And out of all the players, and everybody had a fantastic game, but I would say De Bruyne had the one of his weaker games of his season so far, and they still won 6-0. For me, that tells me how well that whole unit played, and even the subs, Jesus, Mahrez, David Silva, they all came on, they all played well. That's a team right now full of confidence. And to your point, if I'm Liverpool, now the pressure truly is on. I know they have one game in hand, and they still.
Well, man, they better hope they don't get their ass beat by United.
Yeah,
that's coming up soon. I'm pretty sure
that's next week, I think, or the week after.
Yeah,
I think it's this weekend.
No.
Is it FA Cup this weekend?
Yeah, there's no Prem games this weekend.
Okay, so
it's the week after.
So it's the week after.
Okay.
To that point, I'm giving De Bruyne somewhat of a pass, given that he's just come back.
I give nobody passes. Sorry, I'm thinking your route. Nobody gets a pass.
Well, I mean, if he just came back and you do what? No. He just came back.
I don't care.
What were you expecting?
I expect him to slot right in seamlessly.
Dan thinks the players are robots.
Yes.
Yeah.
He thinks this is FIFA.
Yeah, I was about to say.
The player comes off a 10-week injury and he's back to 90 overall.
Yeah.
You're lucky he could complete some passes.
Wow.
I don't think he was that bad.
Yeah, I didn't think it was great.
He was better than the other Belgian.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to him in a second.
Yeah.
Which is saying something.
The other thing with that City,
at least he defends. Go ahead.
I mean, my point on them making a statement was more on the result. I don't think they were that great, but I think it was a lot of
errors.
And that leads to Chelsea, and that leads to how are we gonna do this?
You're gonna talk and rant.
No, I'm not gonna
get it off your chest.
I'm not gonna rant. I've ranted about what they are. They know what they are. I've talked to Chelsea.
Apparently they don't, though.
No.
I've talked to Chelsea Twitter. They were happy when Buddy on the camera, Alex Goldberg, came on. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, look, the problem here, we got to put the problem on the manager, and we put the problem on the players and the board. I'm like, thanks, buddy. Thank you for putting the blame on everyone. Like
That's a cop-out.
Yeah, you're great. You really told us something here. I didn't watch your 2-minute video, loser. Look, Chelsea fans, hi, it's Tyrrell. We're gonna do this like this. Look, what happened this weekend to me was not a surprise. The scoreline, you could say, sure, it kind of was. No one was expecting 6. But then I look at what happened at Bournemouth, and when you collapsed, and they gave you 4.5. So I think 6 is somewhat a bit generous. You know, 6 is fine. You get 4 from that Bournemouth squad on the road. 6 to City. I want to know what Chelsea fans expected, given what they've seen this season, given what the players are. Did they think they were going to go to the Etihad and get a result? Because I know that they did win at Stamford Bridge. But that result does kind of hide the fact that for the opening 30 to 35 minutes, they were getting destroyed and they scored against the run of play. And that allowed them to kind of do what they want to do. We know what this Chelsea squad is. This season, when they've scored the first goal, I don't think they've always won, but
they have a good record.
It's definitely benefited them. But we've also seen this season, when they do concede first, there's a problem. There's a big problem. And I don't think Sarri got it wrong yesterday. I know Craig Burley does. I know Dan's a big ESPN guy. So I didn't even watch it because I don't care what Craig Burley from ESPN FC has to say. But when you look at that and I should have done this on the video, but I just wanted to get the video out. I didn't care about doing a 15 or plus whatever we did on the Chelsea situation. I don't think Sarri technically really got it wrong from a tactical point of view. I don't think we were allowed to see if you got it wrong either.
There's a couple things I didn't like of the way it's set out, but I think most of the game was based off individual errors.
Yeah. And I still think that even when they went, even in phases where they were down from 1 to 2-0 to possibly 3, they still were able to create some chances, and City were still kind of open. Long balls, they're able to find Hazard. The problem with Hazard is that when he gets the ball, he's trying to do it all by himself. I don't know if we could get into that after, but
there was an Ederson save on Higuain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of the first half,
Yeah.
Chelsea they showed the possession metrics and they were on par.
Yeah.
Right.
The problem here is that when you have Marcus Alonso giving, out of all people, giving Eden Hazard a guy to mark and running into a position where they're already covered, everything's fine. You could see a goal like that. To me, that's a problem.
Is that, and you're right, but how can you put that on Sarri?
That's my point.
And to Fab's point, I actually don't think tactically he got it wrong.
No, he didn't.
Because if he goes there and he plays a 4-5-1 or changes his formation, and
Sarri's never changing his formation.
He's not. He's not.
All three of us know that.
But if he goes there and for some reason changes his formation to some defensive formation, gets blasted in that same result, we're going to be here and saying, why did he change?
We were blasting Conte last year when they sat deep and didn't do anything and lost 1-0.
Yeah.
Look, the problem here with this fan base, and I think Fabs has learned that this weekend since he's seen what has been said on Twitter, is that they don't know what they want. They have absolutely no idea what they want. They are the teenage version of a human being that is out there kind of trying to find themselves.
Out for the first time,
seeing the big world,
yeah,
not knowing who they are.
Yep.
They don't know what the club is. They don't have an identity. We already know they don't have history, and they don't know what they want to become. It is a lost fan base. As a lost fan base, they know one way. And it's a short-term way. It's the pull the trigger way. And you know what? That eventually doesn't lead to, there's no sustainability. There's nothing.
There's one guy saying, "Oh, we gotta let all the players go and then bring in a new manager." But if you're on board with the fact that a lot of these players are going to get turned over, a lot of them at the end of their contracts, what is another manager going to come in and do?
Exactly. They're like, oh, well, another manager would get the most out of these players. This is not the problem. And this is why I say, sorry, keep doing what you're doing. Because the problem is not, he wasn't brought in to get the most out of those players. He was brought in, and this is my thing, because some people are like, oh, well, Chelsea didn't bring in Sarri for long term. They brought him for the style of football that he plays. Well, if they're bringing him in for him to implement a style of football, that is a long-term thing. You don't bring in a manager and expect him to turn water into wine in 6 months.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that way. This is not FIFA. And he doesn't need to get the best out of those players if he's trying to implement something. If anything, it's the opposite. Those players have to adapt to the way he wants to play. And if they don't adapt, then you go. But at this club, the manager doesn't the manager doesn't get a say. The players are bigger than the club. And when is that going to end? Because you have a lot of players in that squad that aren't good enough. You have a lot of players in that squad that aren't walking into that City side. You have a lot of players in that club that are not walking into that Liverpool side. You have a lot of players in that club that may not walk into that Spurs side. I can say there are a lot of players in that club that may not walk into that United squad. There are a lot of players there that should not be there. What are your aspirations? What are you trying to be? That is the first thing you need to know as a club. Do you want to be the side that just gets in the top 4? Because that's all they're caring about now. And I understand why they care about that. But at the end of the day, like I've said, I would rather Sarri stick to his guns, implement his style, because at the end of the day, for him to just change to play another way, that doesn't speed up. That does not help the process. If anything, that negates it. You get what I'm trying to say?
I agree with you 100%. And I think if Chelsea and I hope they don't, but if Chelsea go down the route of firing Sarri, that is going to set them back years. And I hope they don't. And I've already read some stuff that Gianfranco Zola is going to come in and caretake, just like
Di Matteo.
Yes, and Solskjaer is doing right now for United. I think this would be a huge mistake if Chelsea go down that route. To your point, I think, unfortunately, there are players on that team that are not up to Sarri's standard. Russ Barkley, Kovacic.
Why should he try to get the best out of Ross Barkley?
I don't think you can get the rest. You've gotten the best out of Russ Barkley. That header back, that was the best of Russ Barkley. That's Russ Barkley in a nutshell.
You're blaming a manager because Ross Barkley headed the ball back. Dude, that's apparently a soccer analyst that told me to read his article, is here sending me screenshots of Chelsea's shape when they lost the ball against Bournemouth. And I asked him, I was like, you're sending me this 2v2? But are you blaming Sarri for David Luiz making a boneheaded pass? Because at the end of the day, that is the biggest problem here.
No.
Don't tell me that it's the players not being able to understand the system, so they're making mistakes.
It can't be both ways.
No.
You can't praise the players when you're winning, but then it's the coach when you're losing.
Right.
It has to be one way or it has to be the other way.
And that's why we got it. That's why Pep, what he said post-match is 100% right. And if you want to play that for me, you can.
And but the people, I said many times, the people don't understand how difficult it is to do something. My first year was difficult too. So my first year, you could not play in the way we played. In some moments we play good, but not this consistent. The people expect, okay, arrive one manager with buying players and immediately comes. Needs time, and only depends of the believers, of the owners, or the people who is in charge really believe in that. The main reason I decided to come to Manchester City is because my bosses, the chairman, especially Chiqui, I don't have to convince him. He knows me. And when the situation is going well, not good, okay, we try to find a solution that he doesn't believe I'm good because I win, I'm bad because I lose. And that is the reason why I am enjoying this period here in Manchester with this club. So I still remain the same opinion. It's going to change that. Today we were a good game. We were.
He said something really important there.
Go ahead.
He said, I knew the chairman, or I knew the owner, whatever he just said. Does Sarri know Roman?
No. And Sarri made a comment.
Says he doesn't talk to him.
That's right. He said, I'm happy. I would be happy to speak to the chairman.
So there's clearly a disconnect there.
There's always a disconnect there.
So how can there be a winning formula when your owner isn't speaking to your manager?
Before Pep got there, they bought players already knowing that they wanted to hire him. Chelsea didn't do that. Chelsea knew that they were going to fire Conte at some point last season, and they knew that they wanted to target Mauricio Sarri, and they did not even think to try and get in a few players that could play the way that he wants to play. They did not even think that this is a manager that needs to play a certain way. It's not going to happen overnight. They just, take the Deadwood that we had that finished in 5th last season and make it work.
Pep in his first year finished what, 3rd?
3rd.
Mm-hmm. Klopp in his first year finished 6th.
Yeah.
So things take time.
The only problem is that, and I think Tyrrell makes good points. The only problem is that they did bring in one signing that Sarri wanted, and he hasn't been great.
But that's one.
No.
This isn't basketball when one makes a giant difference.
Absolutely not. And even Jorginho, you have to give the guy a season to acclimatize himself to the Premier League. Very few people in any league, and I'm just talking about the Premier League, unless you're a world-class player, and Ronaldo is an anomaly, okay? And Messi would be an anomaly if he left Barcelona to go.
Oh no, if Messi went to Chelsea, he'd have the same problems.
No. Yes.
He'd find a way to win.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that
No, he wouldn't.
You
No, he wouldn't.
you
None of
have
those
to
bums.
you have to give those guys, any player, a little bit of time to acclimatize themselves to the league.
It just makes it worse that he walks into that. Like I said, if Jorginho walked into City, or if he walked into, let's say, Liverpool, or if he walked into Spurs, that's something that's been built over time. Like they're at a certain phase in their development or in their process. So he probably would have worked more so there than in this, where all those players are learning to play a different way. A lot of those players are counterattacking players for the most part.
Yeah. All I know is that if I'm Gonzalo, I'm hoping I'm going back to Milan.
No.
I'd rather be at Milan.
He's not going to go back to Milan.
No,
because
he
now
might
they
go
have
back to Juve.
Piatek.
Yeah. You don't want to go. I don't know which one's worse, to be honest, between Milan and being at Chelsea.
I feel like Milan are heading in the right direction.
But I think, well, when he was there, he wasn't getting any service. At least here he's getting some chances.
Right.
So I think he
Actually, I thought he was probably the best Chelsea player, to be honest. Maybe Kepa.
And it's one game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. Because when I'm talking to a Chelsea supporter, and he's like, oh, well, the form isn't good, and it's the top 4. I was like, it's February. You're 3 points out of the Champions League spot. And you should not worry about Arsenal. If you're good enough, you should not worry about Arsenal. And you play United again. So what the hell are you worried about? This one game against the best team in the country, who's at a different stage than you are and clearly superior. And yes, they did beat you down. Yes, it was the worst loss in however long in the club's history. Well, what did you expect? What did you expect? No, I really want them to tell me what they expected. I really want to know why they think that Sarri needs to shift it for them to just finish in the top 4 when there's a bigger goal here. I said a few weeks ago that Conte did that. And what did that do for him? He didn't initially want to play 3-5-2. He didn't. When he got there, he played 4-1-4-1. And then it wasn't working. And then he's like, oh shit, well, I got to change things. And he did do that. And he changed it. And he played the system that he was more comfortable with. And it did work. But when it came to the next season and he didn't get the players that he wanted, well, boy, did that 3-5-2 not work because he got figured out.
That's what I don't understand is that you want him to change to be successful this season and then for next season go back to being shit?
You're not thinking about next season. They're not thinking about next season. They're not thinking. They're not thinking. There are some that understand. There's some that are looking at Klopp and looking at Guardiola and look what they had to endure and Pochettino and that it takes time to build something great. But like I said, they think because of what they've been accustomed to, what's worked for them, oh, well, he doesn't work, we'll fire him and bring someone else in. But they're not understanding that the players that they have now just aren't good enough. And if they lose that Belgian, it's just going to get worse. And if they keep that Belgian, it don't really change much. Because there's a lot of issues that need to be fixed there.
There's zero patience in the fan base.
Right.
But
I think that's the biggest problem.
But that comes from the top.
Yes.
Because that owner has no patience
with the coach.
With the coach, with anybody, really. Well, he's got patience with players.
Yeah.
Because that crew is still there.
Yeah.
And they've bounced through, 3 managers now?
Which is absolutely incredible.
And none of the blame gets put on them.
Look, I've sat here and it may seem like I'm solely defending Sarri. Look, Sarri gets some blame. He does. At the end of the day, he gets some blame. To a degree. But
I can't kill the coach on the first season of a new project.
I'm not killing the coach after 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm not. The fans could kill him, but the fans don't know shit. And that's why I said hi to them. Because they don't know shit.
The problem, too, is they're looking across at United and seeing a caretaker manager come in and reel off a streak of wins. So they think that automatically is going to happen to their situation. But how did it work when Mourinho won the Europa League? Was it the first year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now look at them. Look how many managers you've gone after him. You didn't like him after 2 years.
Right.
So if you're looking at United to be your model and be like, hey, look, they changed and it worked. It hasn't worked for United. It hasn't worked for United since Fergie left.
Yeah.
How many managers they've gone through since then?
And well, it hasn't worked for Chelsea either.
That's my point. Is they're running their clubs almost in the same exact way. They're like almost parallel to one another, actually, when you actually really look at it.
At this point.
And that's why they are where they are and neck and neck with each other.
And they're behind that pack
Yeah.
who's
Yes.
doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which boggles my mind is that you have evidence of what a good project does and the success that a good project can have. It's not like nobody is doing it. If nobody was doing it, then you could say, "Oh, we don't know what the longevity of this plan is going to be." But there's 3 other teams doing it in the proper right way. And one of those teams don't have nearly as much money as you do,
Right.
and they make it work.
That's right. It's it's what you guys said at the very beginning. It's patience. It's patience. And that fan base doesn't have the patience. And that's why I don't believe a club like Chelsea can have a project like a Liverpool, like a City, like a Spurs, because their fan base is not patient enough to reap the rewards in the future. And that's what you're seeing where they are right now.
Hey, look, I'm going to say they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. They really don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. And the funny thing here is that they're going to look back on, if they do pull that trigger, they're going to look back on this in the next 5 or 10 years. And they're really going to wish and regret all of this. Because like I said, they got lucky from 2004 onwards because Mourinho built a squad that was ready to challenge for the next 5 to 6, 7 years. With the Drogbas, the Lampards, Balaks, Makaleles, Ashley Coles, Terrys, the whole gang. That was fine. But when they won the Champions League, they were at the end of that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And they got so lucky that they won the Champions League that year. Because if you guys remember, they may not remember, that if they didn't win that Champions League, they weren't going to be in the Champions League next year.
That's right, because they were 5th.
And if they didn't, I think they finished 6th.
They finished 6th at the end?
I think they finished
Okay.
6th. I think Newcastle finished ahead of them. And if they didn't win that Champions League, then Eden Hazard was never going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been at City or he would have been at United. And that move changed the entire landscape of what happened in the Premier League from then until now. And they should have done much better given the fact they got Eden Hazard. They kind of wasted some of his years because they were unable to provide him with a stable environment and keep a manager. So Eden Hazard's arrival kind of changed everything, and staying in the Champions League changed everything for them. Now, well, that was in 2012. Now we're in 2019. So it's the same amount of time from 2004 to 2012.
More or less, yeah.
And the cycle is about to end.
Mm-hmm.
And they've made the same mistakes, sacked great managers, lost great players, and Eden Hazard ready to walk. And you know how I feel about him, and that doesn't even matter at this point. But if he does go this summer, and if Sarri does go, it's done.
I think it's when he goes. I can't see him staying there.
No, I agree.
Especially not in the middle of all this
No.
shenanigans that's going on.
Okay. So let it be known. When Sarri does go, and when Hazard goes, even if Hazard stays, I'm going to say that.
No, but I think Fabs is saying Hazard is gone. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he'll stay.
No, I think he's gone.
Okay. Well, the only reason
Whatever
why,
it is.
the only reason I say that's because who wants him?
He's going to force his way to Madrid, whether he's right or whether that's where he's going to go.
But does Madrid want him?
I still think he has that star factor to a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Does Madrid want him?
The question is, does Madrid need him?
Right.
Yeah. So
Which I have a different answer to.
Yeah.
Do they want him?
I have two questions. Yeah. Do they want him? Do they need him? I don't think they need him, and I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that they want him.
I don't know if I agree with you. I don't think they need him, but I think they would like to have him because of the name. I still think he brings that name associated with him. Do they need him? No.
I'll get to that whole situation in a bit. But regardless, when those two leave, then what? You're weighing your season on Pulisic. Higuain's gonna go.
Sucks to be that kid.
Who's gonna be the striker? God, N'Golo might go.
PSG's knocking.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when I listen to all these Chelsea fans spew me all this nonsense about Sarri needs to change things for the short term and put Conte in his holding role and offer a bit of pragmatism, because he could get the most out of the players. Look, the players don't matter. The club needs to move on from a lot of these players come next season. And they need to stick with the manager, and they need to move forward and believe in what he's trying to do. Or if they're not going to believe, what was the point of even hiring him? How much money do they owe these managers?
That's my question.
How much money could they use in the
to buy players?
Players? Instead, they're paying managers severance packages.
That's right.
Because that's another severance package.
Yep.
How much money did they pay to get Sarri?
That's my biggest question. In all of
for
this.
sure.
Why bother?
He wasn't coming cheap.
Why bother? Why go through these 6 months if it's just going to be another guy you're going to fire? What was the point?
Yeah.
You had to know who Sarri was.
Yeah.
You had to know his mentality. You had to know who Napoli is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you know what? That Sarri that coached Napoli and that Sarri that's coaching Chelsea right now is the same man.
He hasn't changed.
He has not
He
changed.
will never change. That's why I don't think he walks out of this job on his own. He will only be forced out.
Right.
He won't give up on the project because he knows what his football is.
And that is...
He's not scared of the Premier League.
No.
And that is totally fine. Because if that is the case, the real winner here is Sarri.
That will almost be Chelsea's saving grace, the fact that they have a manager that I think will need to see out his project.
Right.
Because if it finally clicks somewhere in Roman's head that, hey, let's hold on to this guy because he's not going to walk out on his own, it will actually pan out. I think fans don't get that. Sometimes winning isn't the best thing.
They all want instant success.
That was my point.
Winning fogs a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the problem here. And that's the top 4 problem here. Is that they think that if they get in the top 4, that saves everything.
Saves shit.
Nothing.
Doesn't matter.
Nothing.
Because you're going to go to that Champions League and get rocked.
Yeah. Rocked. If you don't change the mentality. If you don't get rid of the Pedro. Why the hell
Who are you going to go get?
Why the hell am I going to try and get the best out of Pedro and the best out of Willian? Like, no.
We've seen the best out of those guys.
They're done. They got to adapt to what he's trying to do. And they got to play their socks off. But they're not doing that. And when shit gets tough and they fold and curl into a ball, like we saw last night or a few days ago, and like we saw against Bournemouth, and like we've seen against Arsenal.
We've seen it a lot
this season. Yes, he did start the season well. We knew, and when he started the season well, I sat here and said, look, that is not going to last. Eventually, things are going to get rocky. But when things get rocky, you as players need to stand up for yourself and make the difference. And that's the difference between the players that they once had. They were able to do that, and these players can't, which is why I can't understand why that fan base thinks that turning on the manager is the right thing to do here. And not even the fans, the Chelsea media, the Chelsea bloggers, the Chelsea writers, because they don't know any better either. Mm-hmm. They're just as bad. They are just as bad. But look, Chelsea Twitter, Chelsea bloggers, Chelsea fans, Chelsea writers, at the end of the day, you were warned. You were warned. This is not a surprise. You were warned in 2015 when you made your first mistake and you turned on the manager just because of the fact that he was upset for every reason that he should be upset, that he didn't get the players that he needed to build on a title-winning season. And that's been your problem ever since. Jose, hit Jose.
This is a crucial moment in the history of this club. Do you know why? Because if the club sacks me, they sack the best manager that this club has in their shirt. And I want to work, as always. I consider myself, that I have a big self-esteem and a big ego. I consider myself the best. Living the worst period of my career, the worst results of my career. Doing that as a professional hurts me a lot. Doing that at Chelsea hurts me twice, because it hurts me as a professional and hurts me because I like this club very, very much. And was
okay, Jose. We got the point. That might have cut out halfway in the middle, but it's okay. If it did, you got the point.
Yeah.
He warned everybody.
He warned you.
The writing was on the wall.
Everything that was happening. And look, it happened. So instead, I don't want to tell them what to do. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're going to lose something great. Because One, right now, there's no manager available to really save the ship. Zola ain't gonna save the ship
No.
long term. And I'm not talking short term. I don't
No,
care.
long term.
I don't care if you make the top 4 this year. This is bigger than you making the top 4. A club of Chelsea Football Club should not be aspiring to make the top 4. Your goal is to win a Premier League title, and the way that you're going, you are never gonna win another one. You're not gonna win You're not gonna win a Premier League title anytime soon. With those 2 teams at the top, with Unai trying to build something, with United looking to build something, you're not gonna win anything. So long term, that guy's the best guy for you because no other guy is gonna come in and go through the same shit.
No other players are going to want to come into this situation.
No other player is gonna want to come into that situation. You're gonna lose your best player.
Yeah.
And you're replaced with Pulisic?
Good luck.
Look, I'm so tired of them. I don't want to waste any more breath on the players, on the board who have gone quiet. We haven't heard anything from them. We probably won't. And I don't want to waste my time on the fans, and not all the fans, but the fans that think that this is mainly Sarri's fault. I don't think Sarri. I think Sarri deserves some blame, but he deserves the least amount of blame because these players have, like you guys have said, these players have been there. They've won titles, so it's on them to rise to the occasion and play for the manager. He ain't telling you anything that we don't already know. Your mentality shows. He doesn't need to tell us that. We see how you react under pressure. You bottle. You choke. Your best player can't score goals. Your best player doesn't show up when it matters. That's how it goes. That's what he's been. That's why I don't know why the hell Real Madrid want him. Because I wouldn't want him. If I'm a big team, he cannot come into my club and be the main guy. He has to be a part of the puzzle. And that's why I don't think he could go to Real Madrid and be the main guy. Because he ain't better than the main guys that they have there right now.
Are we done with Chelsea? Because I'm so tired of that whole fan base.
Look, the only thing I really got to say is this. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. And at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's the board, it's the players, then it's Sarri. And Sarri doesn't need to change anything. He's been there for 6 months, and he needs time. And that's all I really got to say. All right. Because I don't know what the hell you really want to talk about next in the Premier League, because nothing else really happened. Nope. Nothing else really happened. I'll tell you that. United beat Fulham.
Yep.
Surprise, surprise. And the funny
As they
thing,
should.
yeah, as they should.
Arsenal struggled against Huddersfield, but won. Okay. Next.
Oh no. There was something funny about United beating Fulham.
Right.
I gotta find it. It was just funny. It was a picture. It was name a more iconic duo.
Oh, I saw that.
Will wait.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they
Wasn't that United Twitter?
yeah. And we got a picture of that's poor. That's poor social media skills.
People eat that up.
Yeah.
How many little hearts did that have?
Whoever gave them a heart's a loser.
Caption this.
Retweets.
You know, I could name plenty of more iconic duos
Peanut
than-
butter and jelly.
than those two.
Batman and Robin.
Look, Martial. I don't think Martial played well. Just to get that out of the way. Did you guys enjoy the goal?
It's a nice goal.
Ah, okay.
It's a cute goal.
It was everything I expected of a guy. Out of him.
It was cute.
He's getting ready for PSG. That's what he's getting ready for.
Le Marchand is a bum.
Yeah.
They have nobody that can defend.
Sergio Rico should save that Pogba shot.
Yes.
I-
I'm not even killing goalkeepers today.
No, but I really do think he should have saved it.
I agree. Short side like that, you should never get.
Yeah.
No, never.
Not from where he was.
Yeah. He didn't even move.
No. And they were trying to give him a little bit of reprieve. He thought he was going to cross it. No, he shouldn't be beaten from there.
No chance.
They were really trying to beg Pogba for that goal.
Kepa's the only other goalie who's let in less goals than Sergio Rico into 2019.
Oh, we didn't kill Kepa for that Gundogan goal, but whatever.
At that point, it didn't really matter.
No, exactly.
No, it mattered. You push that away. But yeah, the big thing here is United won. That's the big thing I can say, because I don't want to come off as a person that hates on them every week.
That's my
So
job.
the biggest thing, well, yeah, you guys are losers because they're in the top 4 now.
Damn it! I thought you weren't going to say that.
Yeah, I know. It's the over
That was more to Dan. That was more to Dan because Dan was certain. You were just like, I can't see it happening.
I never said that they weren't going to finish. I just said Spurs are going to finish top 3.
You know,
Okay.
He's asking me to run it back.
don't do it. Don't
Look
don't
at your
say-
notes.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send it to you,
That's fine.
and I may play it on Instagram.
That you can.
I will. I'm pretty sure you said it.
No.
We own the rights to everything you say on here. So
Yeah.
they can and will be used the way we want it to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
used.
it will be used against you.
I'm just going to edit that.
Let it be known. But they're supposed to win that game. They're supposed to beat Fulham. Look, I don't want to put too much emphasis on this PSG game or this month that they have. Fabs kind of nailed it to a point where we judge United at the end of the season to see what they really are. But I will say this. I'm still waiting. And I'm still waiting in the sense where I haven't learned much about this team. And I still think they concede too many chances. I still think that they aren't that much better going forward. Although, you know, Pogba is, well, I've been told that Pogba's playing 10 or 20 yards further than he was under Oli, and that he's allowed them to express themselves, whatever that means. I do know what it means, but there's no significant change there that I see that suggests that they're any better than they were as a whole.
I think they just have a few players who are right now playing better than they were previously. I
Exactly.
think Herrera and Matic are playing well together. They're not making as many mistakes as they were at the beginning of the season. The backline is minimizing mistakes, but you know that's not going to last forever. It's still Phil Jones, Smalling, and Lindelof, whoever was there.
Yeah.
Diogo Dalot was not good.
No.
He was beat a few times down the right-hand side, but Fulham just can't score. Fulham should have been up in the first 30 seconds
That's
of the
right.
game.
Exactly.
That's my point.
Mitrovic should have had a header as well.
Yeah.
It's not like there's not opportunities for these teams to get
That's
goals.
my point. That's my point. And I think that the schedule has been very favor towards them. Not to say that's an excuse, but it has. At the end of the day, they've played, and I think I've said this, I think from 13 down, where's Bournemouth?
11th.
11 down is terrible. They're not very good. And I'm pretty sure.
Hang on, Bournemouth has as many points as West Ham and Everton, so 9 down.
Yeah.
So 9 down, 9 down is not very good. And look, I've said this, and I stick to it. United have played Bournemouth, Newcastle, Cardiff, Huddersfield, Fulham.
That's almost everybody in that bottom half.
Reading.
Reading? There's no Reading in the Premier
They
League.
played Reading in the FA
in
Cup.
the Cup. I was gonna say. I thought you were just looking at Premier League.
Did they play Southampton under him?
No.
No.
I would have known. Danny Ings would have killed him.
So they've done all that. They played Arsenal in the FA Cup, cool, and they played their big win is against Spurs. And I give Ollie credit for the 20 minutes, but when we look at the context of that game, a De Gea stormer saved them from losing.
Yeah.
When we really look at it, so you know,
Even against Leicester.
yeah,
It was a 1-0 win.
1-0 win. They beat Leicester with Mourinho. If that counts for anything. And they were just they could have lost that Leicester game. They could have dropped points. I'll say they could have dropped points against Leicester.
Yeah.
And they could have dropped points under Mourinho as well. I'm just not seeing it. I know Ollie won Manager of the Month and Rashford won Player of the Month. Is that deserved? I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely seen the most progress since Ollie came in.
I'll give it to them there. But I'm not on the wave. And we'll see this week because everything is tipping in their favor for tomorrow's game, or when you guys listen to today's game against PSG. Because Neymar's not there.
He's attending his sister's.
Cavani's probably not going to be there.
No, Cavani's out.
Munier's not there.
Munier's not going to be
Verratti's
there.
doubtful.
Verratti's doubtful.
Who else is going to play?
And realistically, since Neymar has gone down, they've lost to Lyon and they've scraped by with very uninspiring 1-0 victories. And that's because of the personnel that they have, and there's nothing Thomas could really do about it. So a lot of the English pundits are tipping United as the favorites.
So let me ask a question. If United do win and did get by PSG, are you going to put the blame on PSG?
No,
Are you going to
depending on how they lose.
Are you going to
I
give
think
them a pass that they have lost these guys to injuries?
100%. I know Fabs ain't, but yeah,
I am not.
that's cool.
Because you blasted my stupid ass Spurs team because they've gone down with injuries and not playing well without Harry Kane and Dele Alli and etc. I'm not giving PSG any passes if they lose to United because Neymar is not there and Cavani's not there. I'm giving them no pass.
That's fine. I don't care if you give them a pass.
No, I'm not.
But I do know that without Neymar there, they're a completely different side. Whereas I know with Spurs with Harry Kane and with Dele Alli have played just as bad this season for the most part as they have without them. And I knew that Spurs could get results without them. That is the difference.
So if they lose to Dortmund, Spurs,
yeah,
are we giving them a pass?
Are we giving them a pass?
Should they get a pass? Same pass that PSG is going to get?
If they get blown out, then they don't get a pass.
So if PSG don't get blown out, they get a pass.
If PSG, yeah. If Neymar is not playing for the entire thing, and I guess you can, Cavani doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because I don't think Cavani's really played well this season or fits into what they're trying to do. But I mean, they're without their most influential, creative / best player, and they're a completely different side without him. And they have a lot of issues. They really go as far as Neymar kind of takes them. I don't care if you don't give Spurs a pass, or if we do give them or not give them a pass. But I think it's just without Neymar there, a genuine world-class player is totally different than Spurs losing to Dortmund without Kane and Ali.
Okay, it's a question.
Yeah, you don't need to give them a pass, but I do think that them missing that big of a player, a player that's so influential to what they're gonna do.
Well, you could say the same thing about Harry Kane.
No, I can't, because they can win without him, and they've won without him.
No, I don't think they can beat Dortmund without Harry Kane.
I don't think. Well, if they can't, I don't know if they'd beat them with him.
There's a better chance of them beating him with him.
In theory, yeah, of course.
In theory, but in terms of how they've played, they haven't played well this season. That's the one thing with Harry Kane, and that's one thing that you cannot deny. Because they still struggle to score goals with Harry Kane.
Yes,
they've still had to leave games late with Harry Kane to win. I don't think Harry Kane has been that influential as many want to make him. He has scored goals, but it hasn't been that much of a difference. I can't name many games this season.
This year, no.
I can't name many games this season where Spurs have played well for 90 minutes.
I do think having a match winner like him does make a difference. In marginal games where I do think Spurs and Dortmund come down to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In like a marginal game like that, it's the equivalent of Dortmund not having Royce.
Right.
Royce
is more important than Kane.
Yes, because he's been involved in, I think it's something like 35% of their goals or 40% of their goals or something like that. But in terms of if you're looking for a match winner, if both teams don't have each player, then it becomes a little more even. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the way the teams function themselves, Royce is absolutely pivotal to everything that team does. Mm-hmm. Whereas we've seen, not well, but Spurs have gotten by without Kane.
To that case, I wasn't going to kill Spurs if they lost to Dortmund or not.
No, because I think it's a very fair matchup.
Yeah, I wasn't going to kill them. So I don't expect much from either of them. But PSG don't win the Champions League without Neymar there.
No, that's for sure.
Period.
That would be a massive ask.
Yes.
Period.
That Mbappe kid would have to do something crazy.
Period.
Yeah.
And PSG over two legs aren't beating any of the big hitters without Neymar there.
No. They're I think we're all in agreement.
Because that's PSG don't get out of that group if Neymar is not there.
You took the words out of my mouth. Yep.
Well, it's time for Mbappe to show out.
So that goes to my point where I'm not going to kill them.
I didn't ask you. That.
It's a big disappointment for them, and it kind of defines what they've been. But I kill them if Neymar's there.
Is that the end? If they lose to United, they go out.
Yeah.
Is that the end of Neymar at PSG? Is that the end of?
Well, you guys have all told me this prior to this that they're going regardless. I don't know where the hell they're all going. I don't know where the hell they're all going, but you guys all said they're going. So I would like for you guys to tell me where they're going to go.
I don't think they're sticking around.
I think Mbappe goes to Real Madrid. I think that's okay. I think that might be
Real Madrid need a new face.
Okay.
One way or another.
Okay, well, I'll say this.
But I don't think Neymar will go there just because he's not the type of person that will deal with that.
You just told me 3 players are going to go. One of them are staying this summer.
Cavani will probably be the one that stays.
I'm not even talking about Cavani. I'm talking about Hazard, Neymar, and Mbappe. One of them are staying. So you got to tell me which one is staying. All 3 of them.
Of those 3, for me, the most likely would be Mbappe.
Yeah.
Because I think teams chase the name that Neymar gives you. And I just don't see Hazard staying in the middle of that mess. If they somehow, for whatever reason, turn that around where Roman says, okay, Sarri is going to be our guy going forward and we're going to bring in a few pieces, and he somehow lays that out for Hazard, then could he stay? Yes. Bets aren't off that he's not going to stay. I think at this point, with everything that's done, that whole my decision is made thing, I think that's not to stay.
But this is my problem. I don't give a damn that Eden Hazard made his decision. I don't give a damn.
Oh, neither do I.
No, because the reason why I'm saying I don't give a damn is because it's not up to him. It's not up to him. No, why are we giving him?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Why are we giving him so much power? Look, Real Madrid, if they have a choice, they better pick Mbappe over him. And the reason why I'm saying that is because they got a young kid over there that plays the same goddamn position.
Well, somebody's going to be switching sides.
And Hazard is what, 28?
Yeah.
28? 27?
28.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think all those rumors are just rumors.
I just don't know how this would be really bad business by Real Madrid. I'm saying 28. That he's 28?
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is really bad business by
Real
Real
Madrid. They don't care. You get him for 3 years?
No, they care. From what they've shown me in the last Galactico and how they've built around the players that they've bought, all those players were under 23. Ronaldo, Benzema, Bale, Modric wasn't over 28.
Hazard's going to come at a much cheaper price than Mbappe is.
Hazard's going to go at least 100.
Mbappe, at this rate, you might have to double that to get Mbappe.
Yeah.
If they're smart, they double. And they take that investment. If they're smart.
Depends what Florentino wants to spend.
If they're smart. I'm just saying that if you have to pick between the 3, I'm not picking the Belgian.
It depends what you want to spend.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot more to just talent these days in terms of when these guys spend money. And I know the other 2 do have names that are bigger than Hazard.
But I think to what Tyrrell always says about Pogba, that he comes not just the player, but he comes with the marketing and he comes with everything, because it's that package deal. And I think if you look at all of those 3, Tyrrell might be right. The long-term project would be Mbappe, because he has that marketability. He's not bad on the pitch either. So you invest in that whole package deal. So if Real Madrid are smart, I agree with what Tyrrell is saying.
Because I don't think they could. I don't think they could get 2 of them.
Well, I could. If Barca go and chop Coutinho and chop one of the other guys, they can get Neymar back.
Well, we're gonna get to that loser in a second. But okay, I'm just saying. I don't think that I don't think Madrid could get Mbappe and Hazard in the same summer, and the Christian Eriksen that they've been linked with. That's a big summer. Mm-hmm. So
I wouldn't want Eriksen.
Well, apparently they've been.
I know that midfield's getting a little bit older, but I don't think he's my guy to come continue that reign.
I think he's been linked with them for around the same amount of money that Hazard. So I just don't know how much Hazard's going to go for.
I don't think Eriksen and Hazard are on the same level.
Well, they were giving Spurs were saying like 80 to 100.
I don't believe shit anymore, man.
Well, Levy's not going to sell him for peanuts. I'll tell you that.
You know what? If Real Madrid is offering 80 to 100 million for Christian Eriksen,
well, that's the price tag that Spurs were setting.
Okay, but if they come and say, "Oh, fine, we'll give you 80 million for Eriksen," wow, if you're Spurs,
yeah,
I think you may take that.
Of course,
invest it somewhere else.
Of course. But I don't know. I just found that entire thing interesting. I don't even know how we got off to them because we're talking about United. We'll get to PSG. We'll get to that later.
Sorry.
Who else played? Arsenal beat Huddersfield, and they almost.
We might as well just continue into Real Madrid because there's nothing else in the Premier League.
No, exactly. That's what's going to be my segue.
Oh no! I gotta tell Dan that Spurs got outplayed and they suck, and Tielemans bodied that midfield. And I really like that Leicester got him because now they don't have to play Ndidi and Mendy together.
I think it's just a loan. I don't think it's a long-term deal.
That's fine.
But I like the fact that Leicester's going young.
Yeah,
that whole side is a lot of young players.
Well, I would like it if Barnes could finish.
That's a huge. He's a nice player, but
yeah. Actually, I just wrote down some notes. I just said, Lloris had a great game. That's what I took out of that. That's pretty much what I took out of that whole game. Lloris played well.
Were you watching as a Spurs fan? Because that I understand.
When Barnes shoots it right at you on a 1v1.
Yeah, he made a couple good saves.
Oh my god! No, he did play well.
He did play well.
He was trying to show Fabs that he's got the sauce.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jamie.
They should have lost, man.
They should have.
They got outplayed.
Jamie.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Why don't we let Madison let our young Englishman prosper?
I don't take pens, and I'll be the first one to say it, and I'm gonna get killed for that. But I don't take them. I've never wanted to take one, but Tyrrell has scored a couple, missed a couple.
Get out of here.
Was that wrong from your point of view?
I don't know.
It goes both ways because if he doesn't take it and Madison misses, then it's the entire media. Well, if only Jamie Vardy could have took it.
If that's their guy, that's their guy.
Yeah, it's better.
Live and die by
it's honestly better that he took it, especially given the fact that he's apparently had some issues with Claude, because now that's on Jamie.
Yep.
So I think that was the best move for the club, and that's the best move for the club.
Madison looked willing.
Yeah. I was going to say
he didn't have to pry the ball out of his hands or anything like that.
He
right?
waited for Vardy to come on.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think it was a perfect storm of the substitution just happened to be at that moment.
Right.
The penalty just happened to be at that moment.
Well, Claude could have held off on the substitution.
I think it was a poor penalty.
It was a poor penalty.
It was a poor penalty.
Anytime you favor your side and you go across the goal, you're cutting your angle.
Exactly.
It makes it so much more difficult. If you don't go right to that corner, then you're just making it easy on the goalie.
Although I do think that if he did start the game, they probably would have got something out of it. Because
I don't like Gray as a sole striker.
No.
He's not there in terms of ability to finish yet.
Davinson and Vian didn't have much to really deal with, and that was one of the big problems. But I think if Vardy had started, they probably could have got something out of it. But that was a good performance by them. Spurs luck out again.
Yep.
And yeah, they're wherever they are, out of the title race, but locked in third. So that's good for them.
How many points back are they?
They're out of the title race. I don't care.
5?
Something like that.
Good. They're comfortably in third, where I said they were going to finish.
Yeah, they're like 10 points up on the other guys or whatever, or from fourth or something like that.
At least the one
or 7. I don't know.
One of the stupid things I say on this one might come true.
At least you know it's stupid. Burnley won. Dubravka messed up for Newcastle. What else happened in the Prem? Just to get it out, since you guys are the Prem boys. What happened? You guys aren't here. Watford beat Everton. Marco Silva, shit's still not going good for him. Southampton lost. I think the new manager bounce is kind of slowly fading away, which is a big win for Cardiff.
Why is it when our teams play each other, there's always a draw?
Because your team ain't shit. And they need to stop scoring late. This time they scored late.
Yeah.
All I could say right now before we end the Prem talk is that I'm pretty confident that Fulham and Huddersfield are done.
Oh,
and that's
which
all
is
I'm
extremely sad because I was not saying that a few months ago. In terms of Fulham, at least.
No, I didn't think Fulham would be in this situation.
Especially not after the manager change. I thought that would have changed a little bit of something.
Yeah, I thought it would be. I thought they would be closer to trying to get themselves out of relegation, but I think they're comfortably going to finish second.
I just remember at the start of the season I said, "Yo, you can't rely on Mitrovic to score your goals," and they can't defend. Yeah. So
you can't defend at a championship level in the Premier League.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem.
You don't get away with that here
because Huddersfield does the same, and Huddersfield just can't score goals.
Yeah, they're finished too. So we'll see. The race for the final spot will be interesting because I think a lot of teams could drop off into that place.
You know what? Can I say that sometimes that race is more enjoyable than the title race?
Yeah,
not this year, but in past.
No, that's fair. I'm with it. That's why I said that come March and come April when Spurs have a lot of gimme games that you think they're going to win, they're probably going to lose.
You guys are crazy. I don't want to watch the third worst team battle it out to stay alive in the Premier League.
By the way, do you
get no attention?
Would you rather that it goes like that wherever you finish you get relegated, or do what the Bundesliga does and that the last?
No, I don't want to play off. No.
Yeah.
No.
You don't like the playoff?
No, sorry, Jimmy.
No, I don't like that either.
Tell them to change it.
I think you need to reward longevity.
That's fine. I'm just asking because I know that the Bundesliga is I think the only league that does it.
MLB wild card.
No, that's a good question. That's a fair question. No, sorry, Bundesliga. No, peace. La Liga.
Oh, I wrote notes on this one too.
So you watched the derby?
Take it away.
You just didn't watch it live.
Yeah, I did.
Take it away.
You watched it live?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah,
I watched it after.
I know, Prem boy.
Okay, let me ask you a question first before we get into the thing.
You're very word I'm looking for. You have a lot of questions.
Okay.
It's his inner journalist.
That's right.
What's the question?
Both VAR. Let's get to VAR because that was one of the highlights of that.
Fabs answered.
No, I want your answer.
What do you ask me?
Correct.
4.
All of the calls.
I don't remember all the calls.
The first one was the penalty, in or out.
On.
I can't read that from here.
Who not that, but who is the penalty on?
On Atletico. Madrid's first goal.
Oh, Madrid's for Vinicius?
Ramos's penalty?
No. Yeah. Yes. On Vinicius. Yes.
Yeah.
Was it in?
Yeah.
The line constitutes as part of it.
Okay.
No, I didn't even care about that. But continue. I was not looking at that, but yeah, continue.
What was the second one? Morata's offside.
Yeah, I think it was.
And Griezmann.
Griezmann's was a goal.
Griezmann was a goal.
I see.
And Morata was offside.
I thought there was a foul leading up to Griezmann.
Okay, fair.
The shoulder shrug on Vinicius.
Yeah, I thought it was a foul.
Yeah, okay.
You got to ask Fabs these questions because when I'm watching these games, I'm watching it for like video purpose. So I don't give a damn.
No, I just thought because that's the first time that VAR was heavy in a game in Spain. There was 3 times VAR was used, and for me, all three of them were used correctly, in my opinion, and used quickly. And I think that's where we're going. It's going to be introduced in the Champions League, so get ready for it tomorrow.
It ain't gonna change my perspective.
No, I know, I know. I'm just saying that it's for the first time it's been heavily used.
Yeah.
In a game in Spain, and I thought it was used well.
Yeah. So when are you gonna tell me that? What I want to hear?
I thought that was Madrid's best game of the year. That's what I have from start to finish. I thought that was as complete of a performance that I've seen Madrid play all year.
So when are you gonna tell me what I want to hear?
That what you think they're going to win the league?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to write the other question because of the other guys. But what do you say about Atletico and Diego?
Oh, for me, I took more. It was that was Madrid's. I didn't really look at Atletico side.
Okay, you're a good guy.
Yeah, I gave them a little bit of a pass.
You're a good guy. That's a good answer. What about you, Fabs?
What did I take about Atletico?
Yeah. What do you take about everything? How did you feel about the derby?
I still don't know if there's enough goals in that Real Madrid team in the long run. Because they score off a set piece, off a second phase of a set piece. They score off a penalty, and then they have Bale's goal, which was I was gonna say no, it wasn't a corner.
No,
No.
it's counter.
It was a counterattack.
Mhm.
I don't know that if game in and game out, Vinicius is a hell of a player. And I've said this before, like a month ago or a month and a half
Yeah.
ago. But with him and Benzema predominantly being the attack, because Lucas is more of a player who is going to put in a shift.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not there for his attacking prowess.
No.
And Modric, is he going to give you enough making secondary runs from midfield? I'm not 100% sure. So in the long run, I don't know if there's enough goals in Madrid. Once again, this is a nice stretch that they're in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Solari finally recognized the fact that he needed to fix things at the back.
Mhm.
Let me fix things in the back. Thankfully, Casemiro's come back. They've been better. Cruz is now back. Reguilon at left back has been okay. He knows that I'd rather play Reguilon than play a hurt Marcelo, because Marcelo isn't going to defend anyways. At least this kid will defend.
Mhm.
Carvajal's been better. I'm not sold on Solari Madrid. But if I flip that and look to Atletico, a project that's been going on for a while, I think we're nearing the end of the project.
Mm.
I think Godin already signing to Inter
Yeah.
is very telling to me that why would he not want to finish off his career there? Why is he going to Inter?
You know what? I
To preserve whatever's left of his career, because I think he's almost done too.
But that's my point, though.
But I
why not
never-
see out your career if you still believe in the project for a couple years? Because a lot of these players, you still should be able to get. Jimenez is still a quality player. Griezmann, he made the decision to stay.
right.
So for Godin's the face, I'm almost gonna say the face of your side for the
You
last
could-
while.
You could say that.
For him to check out now so early and not even wait till the summer to announce it. They announced it in January. To me, that's very telling.
See, and I agree with you. I don't like those. I don't even, to be honest, I don't really like even the Ramsey situation at Juve. That you announce that you've signed a pre-contract with them. I feel like you're giving up on the team that you're at right now. You're mentally checked out.
Oh, they gave up on Ramsey. So
I know.
Yeah, that's a little. I think it's a little
No,
a
but
touch different, but I hear you. I hear what
You
you're
know,
saying.
I don't like those things, and I could see what you're saying about Godin. You know what? If I was in that squad, I would look at him and say, "Are you really? Are you still here? Are you with us, or are you already 1 foot at Inter?" I think it's fair to say.
I don't mean so much on his performances. I mean more so in the grand scheme of things of where I see this team heading in terms of Simeone and other players maybe potentially. I can't even say other players. Everybody else is really locked in. But Lamar hasn't really worked out. That's why I laughed when I seen the lineup and somebody on Twitter or somebody said, "Oh, they put out an attacking lineup." That's not an attacking lineup. If you've watched,
I saw that too.
if you've watched Atletico all year, those players aren't used as attackers. Lamar has done nothing to attack in that side.
Yeah.
He's a system player
He's
who's
been
used
a
to defend.
disappointment.
He does essentially what Vasquez does. He's meant there more so to track the wingers and help defend. He's not, and that's another issue. If Real Madrid don't have goals, Atletico Madrid are going off the back of Griezmann at this point.
Yep.
You know what, Fabs? You did a good job there, because someone on YouTube was asking, what's changed at Real Madrid and whatnot, and I feel like you kind of nailed it. To hit on, let's go quickly on what Fab said. Yeah, that's why when we were killing Juve last week, I was like, yo, you can't really I can't really say that that tie is that bad for them, because Atletico haven't been any much better than they have. So it's kind of like the battle of the underachievers. So that'll be interesting.
It's whoever shows up on the day and gets a couple more goals than the other team.
Yeah,
That's why I said.
And that's why you give the nod to Juventus
based off the Ronaldo factor.
Right.
Exactly.
When we got to Real Madrid, this was supposed to be their tough month, and I think they've been very good.
They've navigated it.
Was it Sevilla, Alaves?
Yeah.
Then they beat Valencia along the way.
Yep.
At some point earlier on.
They lost to Sevilla on the first time around.
Yeah, but then
This is where Lopetegui couldn't get it right.
Yeah.
And I will give credit to Solari, because this is what I said is I wanted to see how he navigated this portion. And so far, so good.
Then they had the Copa del Rey, and they played very well there. And if Vinicius was a bit older and a bit more experienced in front of goal, they could have killed that game off. And then they come here, and yeah, this was probably one of their best. I'd have to go back and see if it was their best, but I agree with that. It was probably one of their best performances this season as a whole. And a lot of things have just kind of have gone their way in terms of how their season was at the start, where players weren't fit. The whole Isco issue, finding the balance, and now we kind of know why Zidane was so big on Lucas Vazquez, and it's showing now, and that's why he's starting over Bale. Well, I guess Vinicius is too, but no, well, Vazquez is starting over Asensio and starting over Isco.
Yeah,
and that's big.
Whereas he wasn't even getting minutes with Lopetegui.
Exactly, but he does do a job for them and allows the player on the left to kind of express themselves. And like I said, if the midfield's healthy, Modric was a bit knackered at the start of the season. That's not an issue. Cruz was hurt. Casemiro was hurt. Problem solved. Everything is kind of going together. The problem here is that they do have a shot to win the league, but that's based off what Barca do. And I'll leave it at that, because I do think that because if Real win the Clásico, right? The league Clásico.
They're 6 points back right now.
Yeah. So if they win the Clásico, they're there, right? But it's based off what Barca will do, and we'll get to them just in a second. But in terms of like everything else, this is probably as good as it can get for them, because I don't expect them to win the Champions League. And I don't think they've gone any better from last year. And even last year and the whole time where they've won 3 in a row, they haven't been that impressive in the Champions League and have kind of gone off the midfield control and the brilliance of Ronaldo. And they don't really have that. And as great as Benzema's been, Ballon d'Or in the making, don't forget about Big Benz. He's out here trying to get that Ballon d'Or. If he could continue playing as well as he can, and Vinicius is able to express himself, and they can find a way to possibly get Bale back into that lineup if they want to go that route. We've said at the start of the season, they go as far as Bale and Benzema kind of take them. But the midfield have to be operating as well, right?
It's ridiculous how Brazil continues to turn out these players. Just as when one is peaking, there's already another one coming around the corner.
Yep.
Like we went from Ronaldo to Ronaldinho, Ronaldinho to Kaká, Kaká to Neymar. Now we're potentially on the verge of another one.
Mm-hmm. And he's one of the reasons why I don't really know if they need to get the Belgian.
Yep. And like I said, unless one of them swap wings.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's an interesting time over there, but they played well. And
whose rebrand has been better? Ole at United or Solari at Madrid?
Real. No one had them in the title race. They were like in 6th as well at some point. And now they're back in that hunt. And I think they've done it against some quality teams in a convincing fashion with, whatever's left of that squad.
The only reason that I'm not going to say I give it to Ole is because if you still look at Real Madrid's lineup, there's still world-class players. Based off what he's working with.
Yeah.
Yes, he had to fine-tune things and still add his I think he's added a lot more of his managerial skills as Ole has done. I think Ole's been more so just the players were tired of playing under Mourinho for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whereas Solari, he's made changes. It wasn't an issue of Lopetegui, the players not liking Lopetegui, because a lot of them came out and said we really liked playing under Lopetegui.
I just think that they were in such a bad place, Real Madrid. And there was actually a question as to like, well, where do they kind of go from here? And after losing Ronaldo, that's another issue that they had to deal with. And they were they were out of it. Like they were behind some teams that they should have never been behind. And I just think that I'm judging more their performances as of late in comparison to United and who United have played, and that's why I kind of give them the edge. Because I don't think United could have gone to Barcelona and played that way or even put up a performance like that. Even we look at Spurs, if you want to try and compare. They haven't really done that yet. They've been able to beat down the lows of the lows, and that's cool. They've gotten results, but Madrid have just gone about it in a different fashion and have done it in difficult environments and went to Atletico now and did that to them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I give them the edge. But I see where you're coming from, so I can't really hate. Or else I would.
And we also have to look at we often give Barcelona a lot of praise, but they've let everybody else get within touching distance of them
Yeah.
because they should have been far and away. I still don't think that anybody's going to touch them come the end of the season because of the Messi factor, and I believe that their team is built to win the league this year. But they've allowed Real Madrid to even have a glimmer of hope. If Atletico Madrid could win games against lower sides,
This would be a whole different ballgame.
they would have been on par or even ahead of Atletico Madrid, Barcelona at this point.
So I know this is crazy, but are Barca too Messi dependent?
Yep.
And do they need a plan other than Messi just winning them games?
Well, this is something that goes back
Because look,
a lot further than
it-
this season.
That game finished 0-0. Could have been worse. Ter Stegen made a number of fantastic saves. Suarez right now can't create on his own. There's 6 points gap. There's a Clásico. That could be down to 3. Could be up to 9. I still think Barca's very much in control. But I think Barca need a plan beyond Messi.
If that was another goalkeeper in Manchester, there would be a big rave about that performance. I just want to get off my chest.
And
And
one save with his arm is so stupid.
yeah. So I'll get that off my chest first. Dan, that's a much bigger kettle of fish to really dig into right now because that's been an issue for an extremely long time. And I don't think they're going to solve it anytime soon. And I think when you have a player of that magnitude, you can't really solve it.
That's my thing. How are you gonna? Nobody plans to. You don't look after the best player to potentially ever play. You have him now, so you're not gonna plan for when he's not there.
No.
I think they've already actually tried to plan for him not being there and
Mhm.
bringing in the young players they did, but a lot of them just haven't panned out just yet.
No, yeah. I'm just saying, do they need a plan beyond Messi? That's the.
Well, if he's gonna play another 2 to 3 seasons, they can hold off that plan B for a while.
I don't know how you can kind of
I think
find one.
I think you need more goals from somewhere else other than Suarez. I think that's your concern before who replaces Messi.
Yeah.
Who replaces Messi can be done as a team.
Right.
Who's scoring consistently? Could be a bigger issue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's something that they could kind of. That's something that they've been able to really interchange over the years since Messi's kind of come into his prominence, right? We think about Eto'o, think about Villa, you think about Suarez. That's kind of been.
But Messi's always been there, not at this point in his career.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Well, they're gonna have to look forward because I don't think they could go another season with just Louis being the main guy. The thing about Messi though is that he's been the main guy as much as people don't want to accept it. He's probably been the main guy since Pep left. And they've probably been over-reliant on him since Pep left.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make the case that they were probably a bit reliant on him when Pep was there.
Yeah.
So that's always been the issue.
Well, if you look at why they've always won, there's one thing that's always been consistent and constant. Him.
Yeah. Xavi
left, who stayed?
Yeah.
Messi was there.
Yeah.
Iniesta left, who's still there? Messi's still there. Everybody who's left, Messi's still there.
Yeah.
And they continue to, one way or another, win.
But I will make the point, and I hate that I have to make this point, is the fact that last season, I feel like one of the issues that they did have was that they were too narrow, and they did play that narrow 4-4-2, and that was why when they brought in Dembele, it kind of really did change things. And that's why he's been so pivotal to what they do, even though he doesn't really play well over 90 minutes, but he is decisive. You can make that case.
He's had moments,
as much as I don't want to make that case because I'm big-hated.
I feel like that was a huge issue this weekend, but far too narrow.
And then the thing is that when he came on, he was narrow too.
Yeah.
So it was like,
and then when you don't have Jordi,
Yep.
So
that makes a massive difference.
So that's another problem, right? And I think that's one of the issues that they had in the Champions League. This is a big month for Barcelona. I know you guys have been killing like the Premier League big month. Barcelona have a big month because they still got to play Real again. And I'll tell you right
Twice.
now. And I'll tell you right now. Yeah, they play Real twice. And I'll tell you right now, those 2 legs over Lyon, that could not end well for them. And I'll tell you why. Although Lyon's not a better team, they're going to give them a run for their money. And we've seen them do it against City this season. And we've seen them do it against PSG. And they've beaten PSG and probably should have gotten something out of that 5-0 loss. But things kind of turned. And that's why it didn't work out.
And that's against backlines that are performing much better than Barcelona's backline currently is.
So I'm going to, like, we obviously don't think that they're going to get knocked out by Lyon, but if they were to, I'll tell you that I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh shit, like that should have never happened. So they got a big month ahead of them, and they need Luis Suarez to be firing. They need Lionel Messi to be 100% fit, because I don't know if he is. Going to Bilbao is a tough place to go to get a result. And they're fortunate that they did get one result because they didn't play that well. But we got to look at one guy, and we have to have a quick discussion on him. And his name's Felipe. And I'm not surprised at what I'm seeing. And the clock is ticking. I know they're saying that they're sticking behind him. There is a brand behind him, so they obviously don't want to let that go. But he's not playing well.
I think he's got the back half of this season to somehow resurrect something.
Yep.
I think it's slightly unfair because he has been hurt in portions this season. So, you can't just pick up, like we were saying before, you can't just pick up fitness out of nowhere, game speed. That's something we take for granted, is game speed coming right into these matches. These teams are already not giving you a lot of space. And they know what you're going to do. They know the spaces he's looking for. Those spaces are often crowded because they're central areas. And when you know Messi's playing, that you're going to attempt to crowd central areas. Like I said, I think that was a huge issue this weekend. Is that everybody was funneling through the middle of the field, and you didn't have Jordi. You didn't really have Sergi making runs out wide that was creating space for those little half spaces that even like Manchester City used so well.
Yeah.
There was none of that for Coutinho or even Messi to work themselves into. So I don't think he hasn't benefited from being up to game speed. I do think the talent is there, and does he have a place in Barcelona?
That's the bigger question.
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
Because when you have Rakitic and Busquets, nobody's taking their position. So now you have one extra midfield spot, which has sort of been, before he went down, was Arthur's spot. Is Coutinho the best out wide? Because he's going to just find central areas anyways. So is that what Barcelona want? Is another player to occupy the middle of the field? Or would they prefer a Dembele or a Malcolm, which I don't think is really going to work long term?
And that's the big question here, because initially it was supposed to be the Iniesta replacement.
Exactly.
That's not going to work out. And then up front, Dembele is the obvious better option. My thing with Coutinho, and I've said this countless times, and I knew this was going to happen, is that I'll just be straight up. I don't think he's as good as many people thought he was. And I feel I've called him a YouTube player. I said he's filled with moments and he doesn't really play well. I don't think he's tactically suited to lead the press or even just make correct runs or just be in the right position at the right time. And that's why when Liverpool were ready to sell him, I was like, yeah, that's what Barcelona are going to pay you. You take it and run.
Great piece of business.
I think we sat here and said that was a great piece of business from Liverpool.
Especially considering what that team's gone on to do anyways.
Right. Yeah, because they never needed him.
Yeah.
But a lot of people thought they did need him. They never needed him. And now Barcelona are stuck with this player that, see, here's the thing. There are a lot of players that, and I find it in that league specifically, where they're built to be much better than they are. And then when they actually make the move into a big environment, it doesn't work out for them because they weren't as good as they were. But this happens a lot at Barcelona too, because it's also a difficult environment to really establish yourself, given that you're playing in a system that these players have played in for most of their lives. And the players coming in have also done the same thing. That's a tough situation to adapt to. But I've always felt that the top elite players are able to adapt in most situations. I can't think of an elite player like in their peak or approaching their peak not being able to adapt following a big move. And I mean like players that are supposed to be at that.
Like world-class players?
Yeah. Like it does happen, but it's very rare.
Well, that's what you're expected to be at that point. You should be able to slot into any side.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the type of money that they paid for him,
Yeah.
you kind of feel that, like, yeah, you kind of have to.
That's another thing. Barcelona's track record of purchasing players recently hasn't been that great.
No.
They've spent a ton of money.
It's been a lot of desperation buys because they're trying to keep up with the times.
And they've been lucky that the lesser buys have been the great ones.
Yeah.
Right.
The Arthurs, Sergio Roberto came through the
youth
the
system.
ranks. But even Nelson Semedo wasn't a huge buy, but I think he's had a good season this year.
Yeah, he has
Much better than his first year last season.
right?
He's sort of cementing himself as a spot, but even the Paulinho loan or whatever that was
Right.
to resell him, like that wasn't a huge purchase, not on the scale of a Dembele or
Yeah.
even a Malcolm or a Coutinho, but it worked.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people have expected a lot of Vidal this season, and it hasn't worked out.
But that's one that puzzles me. What do you expect from him?
An energy player who's box to box, who's gonna somewhat do what Paulinho did last season.
Sure, if you would have bought Vidal when he was playing for Juve.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you always try to resurrect. I think every team always thinks they can get the last bit of every player, right? But it hasn't gone well for them. And with Arthur down, is who plays that role? Do you put Coutinho in that role and play Dembele out wide?
That's something that we're gonna have to find out, but we'll see. Because, like I said, they got a big month ahead. I just don't think he's that great of a player, and they may have to part ways with him because, as harsh as it is to say, and we should probably give him more time in this situation, given that money and given the amount of competition in each position, I just don't know where he fits in, and I don't know if he's happy.
Yeah, I guess that's something we never really factor in.
I don't know if he's happy, and he hasn't played well over the past few weeks. So I'm hoping he turns it around because I'm tired of calling him a YouTube player, and I hope he becomes something much bigger than that. So we'll leave it there. Germany quickly.
Bayern are back in it. Apparently,
Yeah, they didn't really play that well, but they got the job done.
Mhm.
I'll leave it there. I don't really think there's much to take out of it because, like I said, this is why I think City are going to be fine. I don't think Schalke are that good.
Schalke suck.
Yeah,
You go up and then you concede 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry. With the Coutinho thing, quickly, number 10s aren't really playing that well, and I feel like we could have this conversation on Thursday, but coming to an end for a lot of them in terms of Coutinho, Isco, James, Ozil. No one really at United. The best sides don't really use them. City turned theirs into number 8s. Liverpool don't really use one.
Like, it goes back to what I was saying, is that a lot of teams are putting a lot of players in the center of the field.
Yeah.
That space in between the lines, it's not really there nowadays.
High pressing.
You have
closing
to be
down
able to
quickly.
drop deep,
Yeah.
make secondary runs.
Yeah. That's one of the things. It started with Cruz back when he was a number 10 and now he's a number 8. So I guess whoever did that, I think it was Pep, they foreshadowed and saw that it was probably the right thing to do. But Dortmund is the big story there because they were up 3-0 and they didn't play well in the second half. They didn't play well at all.
No, they were atrocious.
And they should have killed off the game. I thought
if it wasn't for Berkey, that could have
went
3 points.
ugly.
Yep.
Big fan of Jolton.
He's just a monster.
Yeah.
How do you defend somebody
Yeah,
like that?
he could do it all, and I hope he goes somewhere else really soon. He could be the real deal.
I think the big story is no Royce.
no
I
Royce,
was gonna.
but even though there was no Royce, they should have won that game.
No, when you're up 3-0,
No.
I don't care who you are, you should never drop a
they
result.
should-
Thank you.
Last
Never.
15 minutes,
No,
Yeah.
you close that game off.
and they hit the post.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought
Jaden?
he played well, and I don't really like him.
Oh no, I think he's been phenomenal.
I don't
we're
really-
we're starting to get to the point where you have to give him a little bit of credit.
Do I?
He's done it for 8 months now, or
Do-
7 months.
But do I?
Yeah, a little bit.
I do.
You should.
Okay.
I didn't say you do. I said you should. You see how I changed the word there? No, I think he deserves a little bit of credit. He is a young kid playing well in that side. That side is fit to play the way he plays.
Yeah.
So if he continues to stay there or plays under a different manager that plays a different way, I think that will be telling, because you don't just move. Nobody in the Prem plays that way.
Yeah.
Liverpool don't even play that way anymore.
Yeah.
So for you to prosper, there has to be a defensive aspect to your game. There has to be more to your game. You can't just beat teams on the counterattack because you're a quick, pacey winger. That winger I don't think exists really anymore. Even if you counter him and look at somebody like Vinicius, I think Vinicius works a lot harder in the defensive side of the game than Jadon does. But he's 18, 19, so there's going to be room for him to grow.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, he's a nice player.
I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater.
No, I know.
I'm not on that media train.
I know. He's
now. He's a nice English player.
Yeah.
Which I think it's also positive to see English players going abroad.
Yeah.
And not thinking that the Premier League is the only place to make it.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with you. 100%. We'll definitely get to him on Thursday because they play Spurs, and that's a compelling. Well,
I think it's Wednesday, no?
Yeah, because Porto's tomorrow and PSG is tomorrow.
Yeah,
which would be Tuesday for those listening.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen Spurs Dortmund last season, so I don't know what to really expect. But if Royce isn't there, I guess it kind of levels out the playing field. Although I think they have enough to really. They have enough.
Spurs have enough or Dortmund have enough?
They both have enough.
Are we going to do those trash predictions?
No.
Okay.
Dan can if he wants.
No.
I want you to. I want you to tell me something wild.
All right, here we go.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I actually don't.
I didn't even know who's playing. I was gonna look.
But yeah, anything else you guys have really got to say about Dortmund? I know that's a very concise breakdown of the weekend, but I don't really know if there's really much to take from it, to be honest.
No.
They went up 3-0. They played well in the first half. They took their foot. They really did take their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
And they obviously Hoffenheim did change their system, and they did give it a go. But
yeah, making those two changes at halftime really changed
Belfodil ended up scoring twice, right? So it's a lesson to Dortmund, and it is 2 points lost. But like City made an impact over the weekend, I feel like that this is how they respond from that will be really telling. Because that's a blow.
Especially with the Spurs games mixed into it now too as well.
That's a mental blow.
And if Royce is not fit, because I've already heard that he's not fit for the Spurs game, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if he's not playing against Spurs, chances are is he back at the weekend? If he's not back at the weekend, can they get 3 points?
The only thing that's really going for them is that we don't know what Bayern really is. They're kind of hit or miss.
It's time for the kids to step up. That's been our question all year: is how can these kids handle this?
It's time for Bayern to keep it tight at the back. They both got some questions to answer, and that's what makes that race till the end very compelling. Serie A quickly. Juve won.
They shouldn't have, but they didn't play great. I'll be honest.
I feel like that's a running theme.
But this is the 1 week where I was gonna say like,
oh really? You're gonna give them some props?
No, they weren't great, but I'm not gonna say that they should have lost or they should have won.
Nah,
they were comfortable throughout.
Did you watch the opening 10 minutes?
Yeah, but I watched the other 80.
Okay. They should have been down 2 in the first. They should have been down 2 in the first 10 minutes. So, I don't know how.
I don't think Sassuolo over the course of the 90.
No, of course not.
Merited a point.
No, they did not. But.
So that's kind of where I see it. I thought they weren't good in the first half, Juve, and when Sami Khedira's one of the standout players, then
you got a problem.
That's a big problem. But that's the running narrative of the season. That is the running narrative. And
your boy had a nice cameo.
My boy? Oh, Paulo?
Yeah.
He's another one of the number 10s.
Yeah.
There's another one.
We don't really know what he is.
Yeah, I don't know what he is. So yeah, he did have a nice one. He helped set up that Emre Can goal right when he came on.
Yes.
And then what did you what can you really take from that, Dan? What is there anything that really mattered?
Not really. I think they're sweating on the fitness of Chiellini. Yeah,
okay, yeah. I can understand that Rugani and Caceres, yeah.
Yeah. If Rugani and Caceres are your 2 central defenders.
That's a lifeline.
It's okay. They can handle Griezmann.
They can handle
Luckily,
Grizz.
it's only Greece.
It's only Grizz and Alvaro. Shout out to the Grizz gang. They can shout them out earlier on. And Fabs' De Gea clan.
Alvaro, that was a nice little chip. He
Yeah,
got
see,
off.
I was upset that
I was hoping that way in just because
Yeah.
revitalize him a little, give him a
Yeah.
little bit of confidence.
It was
a nice. It was a nice first touch.
it was a moment.
It sucks to suck.
It was a moment.
Napoli drew Fiorentina,
Hey,
which they gained 2 points 1 week and now they dropped 2 points.
Yeah.
and-
Shout out to Fiorentina because there are a lot of kids in that backline. They kind of switched the system and they held their own.
that's you know what? When you talk about Leicester having a nice young team, Fiorentina is not doing a bad job either. They've got a good crop of young Italian players too. While you're at it,
Oh, so that's where they all are.
Not at the big size.
Juve can't create them. So
um,
now you answer my question.
and at Atalanta, there's a lot of good Italian players playing at Atalanta. Not to be confused by Atlanta, who just sold Miguel Almiron.
Oh my god!
You go.
That's my.
We don't want
MLS
we don't want your
Oh my-
MLS plug.
That's my
Oh
MLS
my
plug.
I don't.
goodness.
No,
It's
don't.
been a while since I used that one.
Don't
Yeah.
give that a laugh. I didn't watch.
Oh, by the way, and your boy Zapata scored
Of course,
for Atalanta.
that's not a
Duvan.
surprise.
Yeah.
Wait, why are you surprised?
I'm not.
Okay, no. Shout out to him.
Got practice scoring against Juve.
I didn't watch. Anyways, I didn't watch Inter. That was my one disappointment of the week.
AC Milan are back in the top 4.
Yes, they are.
Are they really?
Yeah. Piatek, your other guy, Paqueta scored. Bakayoko looks much better.
And they're pushing to keep him.
Bakayoko?
I read something that they're even willing to sell Kessie to keep Bakayoko.
Yes.
But I don't know what Kessie really does.
I think Jack can do what Kessie does. So
I don't really. Yeah.
he's like a far less skilled Seedorf, which I think might be even a
Yeah.
little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. I was like,
I feel like in terms of the energy that he brings and his work rate, like I think Kessie works hard. That's one thing that you can never.
Yes.
You can say that he doesn't do. And now with Paqueta, I don't think his secondary runs are needed as much. So now it's how he plays in that midfield. Can he become a better passer of the ball? Can he link play? So now his role sort of changes. So how does he grow with that, right?
my biggest thing with Milan is I didn't know, and it's still early days because I did see Higuain play with this energy and effort when he just arrived. But they were in a patch where they weren't scoring goals towards the end of Higuain being loaned out to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And this kid comes in and he's working his socks off. You look at the goal that he did score. Like, I don't know if he would have got that from Higuain. Chasing down, I forgot his name. He scored the own goal and he had a terrible game. Nonetheless, he was awful. But yeah, it's working right now for them, and they have a genuine goal scorer because they struggle to score goals. Yes. Çalhanoğlu not really working out. Him and Suso kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
And although Suso did help create that first goal, like I'm just not a big fan of it. And I was always worried as to who would create the chances for Piatek. But it looks like he could create them on his own, and he's good.
He's a good up and coming player.
And he's linking play well. So it's big for them because it's kind of him and Paqueta coming in has kind of changed the mood around that locker room and in the stands.
Yeah.
And if they're able to do that, then they could probably solidify that disgusting top 4 battle. But I will say at the end of it that regardless if they finish top 4 or not, I think that this should be the end of Gennaro.
He's not the one that takes them
No.
to the next,
But I
to
think
the next
that
level.
we've all agreed that that's
And they need to fix that back line too.
right.
But I do feel that if they did finish in the top 4, the word would probably be like, oh, well, maybe we should keep him, right? I don't know what people are thinking. Maybe the board would think that. But I do think that if they finish in the top 4, then they should still part ways with them and move forward.
The funny thing is, and you mentioned this about United, and Milan have that same clout, if you want to say it as a club, that if they do finish in the top 4 and they do get back into Champions League, I can see them attracting some bigger name talent to play at that club because of the name AC Milan and the history that goes along with it. So watch out if they do sneak into that top 4. I think they could attract some bigger name players at that club. But with that being said, I think you gotta get rid of Gattuso first and foremost, because even if you do attract some stars,
I want to know what stars they're attracting that Chelsea ain't attracting.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you're selling them a dream.
Hey, listen.
He's a good salesman.
Don't get their hopes up.
Fabs, did you watch Roma? Scouting?
I did
The
not
real
watch.
scouting?
I did not watch.
Yeah,
them.
I watched them, but
even though they were on the Friday,
I did watch them.
Just
But
in the report?
who, me?
The Fabs. It's his team. That's the team he's
I
playing
don't-
against.
Oh, they're
Listen,
still gonna beat them. They're still gonna beat them down.
I just need to know my own team to know
yeah,
the issues. I don't need to look at the other teams.
they're still gonna beat them down.
There's they have quality wide players.
El Sharari's in form. Xhako's back.
I don't think Porto can defend their wide players. Like Porto without Marega are just a massive change. It's not the same team. Seen them struggle on Friday to try to create any goals, score any goals. So
Roma's gonna be fine.
to me, round the 16 every year, fine. We did our job. Anything else is a bonus. Now, can Porto get a result? 100%. I'm not saying that they won't get a result. I'm just not expecting anything. I'm the realist on the side. Just don't expect anything at all.
Keep it real.
If they walk away with a 1-0 loss to Roma Stadio Olimpico, I think that's extremely positive.
Of course.
Or if they're even able to bag a goal.
Bag a goal, that'd be big. That'd be big. Yeah, Roma. Pause. Roma did make easy work of Chievo.
Did it?
So that's all I could really say about that. It was very convincing, and that is the performance that they do need. Although it was pretty much a gimme. Like, it's just a lot of mistakes.
7th through 4th is a 1-point difference.
Yeah, which is why you guys
There's a
gotta
log jam.
stop wasting your time watching Juve and get to the real shits.
I'm gonna be on Milan duty for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
Yeah, I'll watch that Atalanta.
Yeah, stop watching Huddersfield and Bournemouth. Like, please,
Definitely
please.
did not watch any of those.
Please stop watching them. Any MLS stuff that you want to plug before we wrap this up?
Me?
Yeah.
You
Well,
are the MLS insider.
When does the season start?
I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure their Champions League game.
weeks.
Their Champions League game is like next week
Yes, in Panama.
on the 18th or the
That is
17th or
correct. It's
whatever.
on the
Are we expecting them to advance?
This round? Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
With who?
I'm going to get you the name of the Panamanian team.
No. Like, with who are they going to advance with?
No, they don't. Even one like Josie should be able to get them through this Panamanian team. Should.
Okay.
Should.
Okay,
I'm not.
I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about him because what are the expectations on Jonathan this season?
Jonathan Sarri?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question. I honestly don't know.
I'm just going to leave it with this. He had a breakout season last year. And I don't think he's going to replicate it.
Nope.
And I don't know how he's going to be able to handle the dip, especially when you don't have two guys that created a lot of space for you to do what you had to do depart. And that is what I'm going to say.
But is it fair if he gets a dip if the whole team dips?
Well, they dipped last season.
Yes, but what I mean is, if the whole team doesn't trend upwards, is it okay if he doesn't trend upwards?
Normally it should be, but I feel like people are going to expect more.
Okay.
That's the thing. I don't expect anything. But I don't expect anything because I know what it is. I'm with the shits. But I don't know if TFC Live.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to
Oh,
engage with them again.
They are waiting for you.
TFC Live. I got a lot to say about 2 TFC Live. So I guess it all starts there. But they're not going to like me very much because I'm going to tell them what it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
So section 112 or 113 or 114
No,
or
114 is fine.
whatever Patch Boys
There's
or
only one
whatever
I want to listen to.
whatever sector or whatever other fan base you
Are
got.
they even
over-
allowed to have supporters again after they burned the whatever they did?
No, that's just inebriati. They're out.
or whatever
okay.
inebriati you got to do or waking the red? I'm here. Dan's going to try and save you, but I'm here. Fabs is nice. Fabs will
They're
kill
not going to let Dan into the games.
Fabs will kill you.
Renounce my
Fabs will,
season tickets.
Fabs will kill you sometimes too, but I'm going to tell you what it is. This will be a great season, TFC fans, and I'm here for it. Now we got a podcast. I don't care, man. It's a new vibe. This is the best soccer/footy podcast in the world, and I'm tired of sugarcoating and cutting and giving people passes. Although I try to give PSG a pass
No.
without Neymar.
Not having it.
Okay, the only way we're giving them a pass is if United. The only way we're not giving them a pass is if United kill them. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna count on Dani Alves to be in the midfield and them to get a result, you are a sick man.
Yeah, that's crazy
And
that
if-
he's still playing.
And if you're giving them a pass, if you're not giving them a pass with Dani Alves in midfield or Marquinhos and whatever, come on. You better give them a pass.
No pass.
You better.
Hey, we got 2 episodes this week.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. But this is the vibes I'm going with. So if you're not with it, then just let it be known. Someone's getting killed on Thursday. That's all I gotta say.